if last time didn't indicate that.
Good. So, before we start, the most important thing, aside from Cat Peasant being here, I fell on my head today. So if I'm being weird, you have been warned.
That's...
Yes, you didn't see that coming. I know. I didn't technically fall on my head, but it's close enough, honestly. Let's just say I bumped my head with decent velocity. So it has the same effect. So yeah, let's just say for simplicity's sake, I fell on my head today. So if you're wondering, there you go.
You must fall on your head often then.
No comment. Hello, Cat Peasant.
Is Cat Peasant still doing peasant things?
Define peasant things.
I don't know, because I'm not too sure what a cat peasant in particular would do. Seems like a peasant in a cat world. Or is it just a cat?
I think it's just a type when it was supposed to be cat patent. Because he's just constantly petting himself. I know that joke was patently stupid. There you go. Peasants introduce themselves, apparently. By saying, Griebenings, I am peasant. Which doesn't even make sense anymore, because I gave him...
Wait, is peasant just your name? Is that just your name, Cat, and then peasant is your surname? Is that what we're up to now?
Maybe it's their lady name? Why are you assuming gender? Why does Cat Peasant have to be a sir?
Because I fucking decided so.
Petting pending. You're gonna have to ask someone else to pet you. I'm busy.
So am I. I got my hands full.
Wait, how? That thing was 3/4 full like 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Excuse me.
What have I literally said to you 5 minutes ago?
You said that you eat a lot. You didn't say that you just inhale food. That's a difference. Where did the fucking food go? I don't understand.
You've been actively inhaling it as you've been speaking.
That would explain it, to be fair.
You don't know at home, last stream I literally ate half a loaf of bread.
On your stream?
You just missed that part. Last stream.
I know that you ate quite a bit, but I thought that was a bit. Okay, you know what? I'm on camera. I'm just gonna eat a fuck ton, and people are just gonna think I'm a fat fuck, and I never stop eating, and it'll be funny.
Amusement.
But yeah, apparently it's a little different.
I'm gonna acquire alcohol, and I'm gonna mix it with Beppis.
I agree. And also, go ahead.
No, I just said you should. That's done. Next question.
In case anyone is confused, we got confused. I don't know where exactly it got lost, but yeah, apparently PoE things are next week, so next week no Bibling.
Yeah. This week was the announcement, which was Thursday. It's actually a pretty good announcement, to be fair. It's all just buffs now, and the league's fucking amazing. Anyway.
Yeah, just lower the expectations enough, and then be like, "Hey, we're coming out with a lot of buffs, and everything is gonna be so much more fun, and everybody will be like, yay!" And just forget the misery that they were put through for the last 3 months.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah, right. The point I was gonna make: he is no longer a cat peasant. I literally gave him all of my items, all of my wealth, and everything in Project Diablo 2 yesterday. So
is he wealthy now?
He's now Cat Noble.
Understandable.
Which is why his name is now Sir Cat Peasant. He bought the title.
Nice. Well done, Cat Peasant. Moving up in the world.
think we're ready to start. Or do you have anything to say about foot fungus? Any update on that?
It's just foot things, you know. That's just fine. To worry about my foot things.
I can sense fungus are afoot. Wait, fungi. What? Because you're a fun guy and you're afoot.
Yeah, comedy.
Speaking of comedy. Yes,
Yes,
concatenation. I know what that is. Do you know what that is?
No.
Wait, you actually don't?
Do I?
I don't know. Do you know what concatenation is?
No.
You take a word
Right.
or any sequence of characters, basically a string. You know what a string is in a programming sense?
Yes.
Okay, and then you take another string and you put it after the first one. And now you have one string that contains the characters of the first one followed by the characters of the second one. Congratulations, you just concatenated 2 strings.
Nice.
And that's your programming lesson for today.
Roll credits.
I don't know if I'm ready to read this out.
I don't know if you're ready either.
Leaving your son. Well. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the sons of Israel, and you shall say to them, a woman, if she has received the seed to bear a male, shall be unclean for 7 days, just as in the days of separation due to menstruation. Wait.
Illegal to menstruate.
Hold on. Okay, so the Lord just said, if you've been beseeded by a male, no wait, if she received the seed to bear a male, so if you are beseeded but your child is female, then you're clean.
Yes.
But if you're a woman and you get beseeded with a male, then you're unclean for 7 days.
Just 7 days. After that, you're fine.
So how does that work? A man has sex with a woman and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna give you a boy. And she's just gonna be like, no, I'm gonna be unclean. Why would you do that? How? Actually, how? How would you know? So does she retroactively? So after they had sex and then after the woman has given birth, turns out, oh wait, he was a boy, which means, hey, remember when we had sex? The 7 days after, anything you touched was unclean, and then they have to sort of retroactively figure out. You know, kind of like with the corona spread, you just figure out, wait, I have corona now. Where was I in the last 7 days? Who might be infected? How does that work? Does she just have to figure out, okay, wait, so about 9 months ago on that day and the 7 days after, what did I do? So anything
maybe they had a tracking app on their phones.
Do you guys not have phones? And also, we still haven't figured out what being unclean actually means. Because for the most part, so far, it's been, if you touch this or this or this, you're unclean until the end of day, right? Until the end of the current day. So, yes. I guess anyone that touches her is unclean? And anything she touches?
Does it spread like a zombie infection? Is it like a plague?
No, that's how humanity works.
All right, yeah, fair.
And then it also says, just as in the days of separation due to menstruation. So during those days, the woman has to stay away from her man because she's also considered unclean.
It just goes like a hermit, live in the mountains for a week.
Yeah, make sure to inebriate her sons and wait. Okay, well, apparently we just concluded that women have regularly become unclean under several circumstances. And on the 8th day, the little infant shall be circumcised. Oh.
Oh, maybe it means from the day of birth.
Yeah, that makes it a lot
I
more
like,
sense.
I like how you
Although-
could have read a whole sentence ahead.
No, that's boring. We're trying to create content here. We're trying to we're trying to evaluate this on its merits so far. But still, it says a woman, if she has received the seed to bear a male, shall become unclean for 7 days. So if she has received the seed, she shall become unclean. It doesn't actually specify at what point. It doesn't even say after giving birth or after receiving the seed or anything. So is it just like, I'm gonna go on vacation somewhere else, so you know what? I'm gonna be unclean starting whenever I go on vacation. Just uncleanify everyone over there. Just make sure your home tribe is fine. Okay, so apparently after you give birth, that's the implied logic here, you're unclean for 7 days. And once you're no longer unclean, your boy has to be circumcised.
Sounds about right.
I wonder if there's a correlation. Is it supposed to be, okay, she's unclean, and then when she's no longer unclean, then she has to be no longer unclean so she can do the circumcision? Or does someone else do the circumcision?
Yeah, true. It doesn't say she has to do it, so.
But it could be somewhat implied because she's unclean for 7 days, and then when it's time to actually do the circumcision, okay, you're good now, you can touch things again. But yeah, it's who the hell is actually supposed to do it? Yet truly,
The man of the village.
she herself shall remain for 33 days in the blood of her purification. She shall not touch anything holy, nor shall she enter into the sanctuary until the days of her purification are completed. So what's the blood of her purification?
I'm afraid to ask.
If it wasn't for the birth part and the circumcision in between, I would say it's menstrual blood, because that could be considered purification in some way, but at some point, women are not allowed to enter the sanctuary or touch anything holy for 33 days. Until the days of her purification are complete.
33?
Because it takes...
strange number.
Are you fucking dumb? Because it takes 33 days for your purification to complete.
Why?
It's like... Do you ever read the description of abilities in, like, let's say Path of Exile? It's like a debuff that lasts for 33 days. It says so in the tooltip. That's how it works. And after 33 days, the debuff expires.
Oh, brilliant. I do like how you're just comparing this to a fucking debuff in an RPG.
It literally is. It's a debuff that disallows you from touching anything holy or entering the sanctuary. And if you do it anyway, don't you dare!
It just bursts into flames.
But if she will bear a female, she shall be unclean for 2 weeks, according to the custom of her monthly flow, and she shall remain in the blood of her purification for 66 days. I'm not comfortable with the wording of monthly flow. If I'm...
Oh no.
I do not like this wording. Okay, so if you have a male child, you're unclean for 7 days. If it's female, it's 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
And you should also remain in the blood of your purification, whatever the hell that is. I mean, it can't be menstrual blood, because if you have a child, that doesn't happen. So what other blood is it?
Well, maybe all the females of the village just bound together.
Are you implying what a golden shower is just...
That is not a nice kind of shower.
I'm just trying to figure out what the blood of her purification is.
Well,
Remain
maybe
in the blood.
maybe it's like holy water, but it's blood instead of the water. It's
But
like holy.
it's
blood
her
from the
blood. No, the blood of her purification.
Yeah.
So-
it could be any blood, but it's
Are we
for the
supposed to
purpose of
sacrifice,
purification.
like, if you bear a child, we have to sacrifice a goat, and then you bathe in the goat's blood because that's how you purify? Because giving birth is apparently unclean? What's this actually trying to say?
Could be.
This really, I don't.
It's really confusing.
Okay, so if you have a female child, you're unclean for 2 weeks because obviously women are inferior. Welcome to the Bible. That's how it works. According to the custom of her monthly flow. That's what I'm a little confused about. So you're unclean for 2 weeks according to the custom of your monthly flow. Is that supposed to be like...
Understand the irony?
I don't get, peasant.
Is
it supposed to say you're unclean until you have your period again? Because that wouldn't be 2 weeks as far as I know. So what does this sentence here, according to the custom of her monthly flow? After that, it says, and she shall. So I'm pretty sure this, according to the custom, refers to the previous part. So she shall be unclean according to the custom of her monthly flow. But the time frame is already given. So why is it according to the custom of her specific monthly flow if the time frame is already set specifically for 2 weeks? It seems contradictory.
I don't know.
And then also
I have no idea.
Bathe in somebody's blood for 66 days.
Yeah, just sit there with your fucking legs to your chest.
Sit and think about all the things you've done wrong.
66 days straight.
No, just sit in the blood and think about all the things you've done. How dare you give birth? Not allowed. And when the days of her purification have been completed, for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring to the door of the tabernacle of the testimony a 1-year-old lamb as a holocaust, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for sin, and she shall deliver them to the priest. So you literally have to kill a lamb and a pigeon or turtle dove. So you have to kill a lamb and a bird if you have a child, regardless of gender. So just if you give birth, you have to sacrifice a lamb and a bird. How many?
They must have had a lot of lambs back then.
I guess they only ate lamb.
Maybe this was like a way to maybe they just had a lamb population problem.
I was just
and all of
that,
this
yeah.
entire rule set was just a way to get rid of them.
Lampocalypse.
Oh no.
Or maybe maybe the Lord really just didn't like lambs and he was like, kill both of them. This is fun.
Just had a lamb fetish.
Okay, bring them to the priest. He shall offer them in the sight of the Lord, and he shall pray for her. And so she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood. This is the law for one who bears a male or a female. Okay, yeah, so giving birth is considered unclean, and then you're uncleansed from the issue of your blood, okay? But also, something that I found very interesting, you also have to bring the bird for sin. So, does that imply that giving birth is a sin?
I mean...
having sex is a sin? If it's for the pure purpose of reproduction, of course. But why do you have to bring something for sin? What if you have not sinned in your entire life? You're just a law-abiding citizen?
Well, then you don't need to bring a turtle dove or a pigeon.
But she shall bring those after the days of her purification are complete. It doesn't say if you have sinned. No, it's there's no condition attached to it.
Well, I guess that just means it is. It has to be a sin then.
You know what? I'm just gonna... Implying that sex is a sin, question mark. There we go. And if her hand has not obtained or been able to offer a lamb. Does that mean if her hand has not been obtained as in she's not married? Or if her hand has not obtained a lamb and was not able to offer a lamb?
Yeah, I think that's what that means, yeah.
Probably the latter, but it could also be the former. She shall take 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, but you can't take one of each. Take note of that. One as a holocaust and the other for sin. And what if I don't have a turtle dove or a pigeon? 2 lambs is not okay? And the priest shall pray for her, and so she shall be cleansed. These rules are just so arbitrary and just... I don't know what to say.
They are extremely fucking confusing.
Leviosa 13. And the Lord spoke to Moses and triple Aaron, saying, the man in whose skin or flesh there will have arisen a diverse color or a pustule or something that seems to shine, which is the mark of leprosy, shall be brought to triple Aaron, the priest, or to anyone you wish among his sons.
I like how we're randomly talking about leprosy out of absolutely fucking nowhere.
The man in whose skin or flesh there will have arisen a diverse color. So just, I guess, if you don't look, if your skin color changes to something unnatural, or you have a pustule or something that seems to shine, whatever the hell that would be, which would be the mark of leprosy. So yeah, basically, if you're sick, you're brought to triple Aaron, the priest, or any of his sons. I think that's what this is trying to say. And if he sees that leprosy is in his skin, and that the hair has turned a white color, and that the place where the leprosy appears is lower than the rest of the skin and the flesh, then it is the mark of leprosy, and in his judgment he shall be separated. So, at the priest's judgment, the skin shall be ripped off?
Just fucking peel it like a tangerine.
He shall be separated. Separated from the tribe? From his own skin? That...
This whole section does not seem to be worded particularly well.
If by this whole section you mean this and all the previous 61 pages, then yeah, I agree. The invention of quarantine. No, you don't need quarantine. You just take the infected area and rip it out.
Yeah,
you just cut out the can. Well, you rip off the leprosy.
Just peel it off. Problem solved. Get like a potato peeler and just give it a few swipes.
But if there will be a shining whiteness in the skin, but it is not lower than the rest of the flesh, and the hair is of unaffected color, the priest shall exclude him for 7 days. Shall seclude him. So that's quarantine now. And on the 7th day, he shall examine him. And if the leprosy certainly has not increased further and has not spread itself in the skin, he shall seclude him again for another 7 days. And on the 7th day, he shall evaluate him. If the leprosy has become obscured and has not increased in the skin, he shall declare him clean, because it is a scab.
What is he evaluating him on? His fitness?
His health? His health?
Is it a maths test?
I think his health pertaining to leprosy?
Does it specify?
No, it's implied. So what the fuck is a scab?
You don't know what a scab is. What?
I'm trying to figure out what a scab is in this context, because it says... where was it? He shall declare him clean because it is a scab.
Yeah, it just means it's not leprosy, it's just a scab.
Oh, okay.
False alarm.
Yeah, okay. At least we now know where the 2 weeks come from. Wait, 2 weeks? Oh, I see. We're making COVID jokes. To a high level. And the man shall wash his clothes, and he shall be clean. But if the leprosy increases again, after he was seen by the priest and restored to cleanness, he shall be brought to him, and he shall be condemned of uncleanness. We still don't know what being clean actually entails for the unclean-y.
It's obvious. They're not gonna tell you what it is because it's so obvious.
I'm kind of thinking like the Chinese social credits system. It's like you're unclean, just nobody wants to hang out with you. It's just like as if you fucking smell and you just look like a hobo. It's just naturally everybody wants to not be around you. That's what I'm imagining right now. The mark of leprosy has been in a man. He shall be brought to the priest, and he shall look upon him. Where's the... I just want to point out, everything up to this part was about man. The man in whose skin, and then Here it also says if the mark is in a man. I don't know if we're actually talking about the gender man or just man as in human. Might be translation, but it might also be that if the woman has leprosy, well, women are already inherently unclean, so what are we gonna do about it? Or some logic like that. Otherwise, I don't really know why it's specifically mentioned. And when there is a white color in the skin, and it has an altered appearance in its hair, and also the same flesh seems alive, it shall be judged a chronic leprosy which has grown into the skin. And so the priest shall declare him contaminated, and he shall not seclude him because he is clearly unclean. So you're unclean for life, which means you don't need to be secluded because you can't be unclean, or
What?
Yes. But if the leprosy will have flourished, coursing through the skin, and will have covered all the skin from the head, even to the feet, whatever falls under the sight of the eyes, the priest shall examine him, and he shall judge that the leprosy that he possesses is very clean, because it has all turned to whiteness, and for this reason the man shall be clean.
What?
Okay, now I'm a... Lord, what?
What?
Okay, recap. So you have leprosy. You have weird skin color, a pustule or something shining, which is probably leprosy. Go to the priest or one of his sons. And then if the leprosy is in your skin and your hair is white and all the other things, then your skin will be ripped off. And if there's a shining whiteness in the skin, but not lower than the rest of the flesh, so it's just the skin, and the hair is unaffected, then just go into quarantine. 7 days later, reevaluation, and if it's not any worse, and has not spread any further, then... Wait. If the leprosy has not increased further, quarantine again. And if it has become obscured, so I guess if it decreases, if it has gone back, then you're clean. Because, yeah, apparently not leprosy. And then you wash your clothes and you're good again. But if the leprosy happens again after you've been in quarantine and then released, then you go to the priest again and you are condemned of uncleanness.
Right.
And then once again, if the mark of leprosy has been in a man, he shall be brought to a priest, which is literally what the beginning of this chapter said. Priest evaluates. Now there's white in the skin or altered appearance in its hair. So literally just a recap of what happened at the beginning of this chapter. Amazing.
Yes.
Then the priest will declare him contaminated, but not seclude him because you're unclean. However the fuck that makes sense. And if you have more leprosy and it goes worse and it's just all over your body, then the leprosy is apparently very clean because it turned you all white, and then you're good. So it seems like in the end, no matter what happens, you're just gonna be considered clean at some point. Because if you have temporary leprosy, as soon as it's gone, you're clean. If you have permanent leprosy, well, it's permanent, so it turns you white, so you're clean. So
perfect.
And once again, we still don't know what being unclean actually means. Yet truly, when the living flesh shall appear in him, whatever the fuck that means, then by the judgment of the priest he shall be polluted, and he shall be considered to be among the unclean. For the live flesh, if it is spotted with leprosy, is unclean.
What is going on?
Wait, so as long as the leprosy is only in your skin, even if it's permanent, you're fine. But if the leprosy goes all the way into your flesh, then you're just fucked.
Wonderful.
What I don't understand is yet truly when the living flesh shall appear in him. I guess that's like their way of saying if you have leprosy in your flesh.
These guys.
Yes. Okay, here's what you're gonna do. Do you see the bottle of liquids? Those bottles of liquids to your left.
Sure.
Take them, put them in the freezer, wait like an hour, and there you go, more food.
I don't know why I'd expect it. Oh,
The leprosy
this is not
clean.
going to be enough alcohol.
Did they already explain what leprosy actually is? Yes, it is when your skin is white and your hair turns gray and you shine and you're unclean. Do you not know? Do you guys not have leprosy?
Come on, guys. Everyone has leprosy.
And if again it will have turned into whiteness and will have covered the entire man, the priest shall examine him, and he shall discern him to be clean. But when there has been an ulcer in the flesh and the skin, and it has healed, and in the place of the ulcer there appears a white or reddish scar, the man shall be brought to the priest. And when he will have seen the place of the leprosy lower than the rest of the flesh, and that the hair has turned white, he shall declare him contaminated. For the plague of leprosy has arisen from the ulcer.
Oh, no.
But if the hair is of the usual color, and the scar is somewhat obscure, and is not lower than the nearby flesh, he shall seclude him for 7 days. And if it will have certainly increased, he shall judge him to have leprosy. But if it stays in place, it is the scar of an ulcer and the man shall be clean. But if flesh and skin has been burned by fire, and having been healed, now has a white or red scar, the priest shall examine it. And if he sees that it has turned white, and that its place is lower than the rest of the skin, he shall declare him contaminated, for the mark of leprosy has arisen in the scar. This is like the original sort of medical instructions for doctors. So if it's this, then it's probably this, but check for these symptoms and this and this and this, and if it's also not this, then it's this disease.
Is this just like a really scuffed version of WebMD or whatever it was called? That website where you just like check your symptoms. Is this just like the early version of this?
Yeah, this is basically a flowchart for when somebody has weirdness with their outward appearance. What the hell are you doing, Teras?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So yeah, I think this is just for identifying it. This is just the instructions, because clearly they don't know how to. But if the color of the hair has not been changed, nor is the mark lower than the rest of the flesh, and the leprosy itself appears to be somewhat obscure, he shall exclude him for 7 days. And on the 7th day he shall evaluate him. If leprosy will have increased further in the skin, he shall declare him contaminated. If the whiteness stays in place and is not very clear, it is the mark of a burn. And for this reason he shall be declared clean, because it is only the scar from a burn. As long as it's not a scar from Mr. Burns, it's all good. This is like WebMD, except every path leads to leprosy instead of cancer. They didn't invent cancer back then, come on. This is like the OG cancer. And by this I of course mean the Bible itself.
Nice.
If leprosy will have sprung up in the head or the beard of a man or woman, it says woman here. So if leprosy, if you're a woman and you have leprosy in your head or in your beard.
I love this so much. Well, the thumbnail for this is definitely going to be a bearded woman now. Anyway.
Hold on. Women had beards back then. The priest shall look upon them. And if the place is certainly lower than the rest of the flesh, and the hair is golden and thinner than usual, he shall declare them contaminated, because it is the leprosy of the head and the beard. Oh, so now you have specific types of leprosy. But also, it's interesting. If your hair is golden, so not white, that means if you're blonde is basically golden, right?
Sure.
So
or like a really, really light, like
so
brown.
if you have brown hair, black hair, red hair, whatever, like, you're fine, because your hair is not going to turn golden. It will turn white maybe or gray. But if you're blonde and you happen to have leprosy, you're basically fucked, or you happen to have symptoms of leprosy. Because, hey, your hair is golden. What a coincidence. This must be cancer. I mean leprosy.
I guess people had negative conceptions about blondes for a long time.
Beard of a man or woman. The Bible. Thanks. Yep.
Brilliant.
No context, best context. You know, there's probably also a good merch idea. Just one of those really simplistic, just a face that is just really simplistic shape, so you can't tell much. There's just, you can barely tell that it's a face. Just have it look female or feminine, and then have a beard on it.
Wonderful. Isn't that like what
I don't know
Fanty's
what
gonna look like in the future?
What Fanty's? What Fanty's like? What did you say?
I'd imagine him looking very feminine, and he's also with a beard. So
okay, I wasn't sure if I misunderstood. Okay, yeah, now I get it. What you said, I understood, but I didn't understand.
Yeah, just the individual words is just not the whole lot.
Acoustically, I understand, but my brain does not process.
Yeah, acoustic fuck.
Yeah, I don't know what the art style is called, where you just have this really minimalistic.
That's literally what it's called.
Is it? Whatever. Anyways, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Would probably make. Would not be too bad. But if he sees that the place of the spot is equal with the nearby flesh, and that the hair is black, he shall seclude him for 7 days. So once again, if you have any other hair color, you're fine. And on the 7th day, he shall examine it. If the spot has not increased, and the hair has kept its color, and the place of the mark is equal with the rest of the flesh, the man shall be shaven, except in the place of the spot, and he shall be secluded for another 7 days. And if you're a woman, you get secluded, and then you get there, and it's fine. And if you're a woman with a beard, and your beard shows signs of leprosy, it will still not be shaved off, because you're a woman, and damn it, you have a right to wear your beard.
My fucking god.
Minimalism. Bless you.
Wow.
What?
You can't just go on blessing people. What do you think you are, Abraham?
You know, I was just about to take my right hand and pretend that I'm blessing, and then I realized that it would probably look very differently if I...
Where's my book?
Yeah, no, I don't think I should be going around blessing people. At least not with my right hand. You can have my inferior left hand blessing, though, if you're okay with that. Thanks.
Comedy.
On the 7th day, if the mark seems to have stayed in its place and it is not lower than the rest of the flesh, he shall declare him clean, and his clothes having been washed, he shall be clean. But if you're a woman, you're just unclean by definition, so yeah, why do we even bother? I still don't understand. Like, women were actually mentioned, and now it's just all about men. But if, after his cleansing, the spot will have increased again in the skin, he shall no longer inquire as to whether the hair has turned yellow, because he is plainly unclean. Furthermore, if the spot has not increased and the hair is black, let him know that the man is healed, and let him confidently pronounce him clean. So, yeah, what if you have brown hair? You just... Yeah, I guess if you're blonde, you're just fucked by default because it's assumed that you have leprosy, and if you have black hair, you're just lucky because, hey, if you have black hair, it's considered clean unless your hair does turn white. But that means black hair is actually implicitly considered better by these rules, and being blonde is actually inferior, at least in terms of this ruling. If a whiteness will have appeared in the skin of a man or woman, once again, we actually mention women explicitly, the priest shall examine them. Oh, really?
Thanks, Michael. Very cool.
Exciting turn of events. Yeah, maybe you should examine them. It's not like that has already been mentioned 2 times before. Why are you? What is that? I no, I'm not gonna.
What?
I'm not gonna click on that.
Crouton.
Yeah, get crude on.
Just crouton, okay.
If he detects an obscured whiteness shining in the skin, may he know that it is not leprosy, but a white-colored blemish, and that the man is clean. Even if you're a woman, you're now a man and clean. But the man whose hair falls off his head and is bald, whose hair falls off his head is bald and clean. Oh, interesting. So blonde hair bad, black hair good, no hair good. So what about red and what about brown?
Okay, is there was there a loop where we could just dye your hair?
I don't know. What about wigs? I think we need a flowchart for determining leprosy.
No. We need a flowchart.
Dude, just actually putting this into a flowchart, put that on a shirt. And then just put over it, do you have leprosy? And then just have the flowchart. Are you a woman? Yes, and then the arrow just goes into nothing. Because that's what the Bible says. It's just an arrow that points to nothing. It's just like... Okay.
Oh god.
If the hair falls off his forehead, he is bald in front and clean. Yeah, if the hair falls off your forehead, you're bald in front. That's how it works.
That is usually how that works, yeah.
But so interesting. So if your hair falls off your head, you're bald and clean. If the hair falls off your forehead, you're bald in the front and still clean. So basically, as long as you lose some of your hair from your head, you're considered clean.
That's pretty good. Can you just pick some hair out and call it a day?
I mean, the Lord would know, but the priest might fall for it. But if in the bald head or bald forehead there has arisen a white or reddish color, and the priest will have seen this, he shall condemn him without doubt of leprosy, which has arisen in the baldness. Therefore, whoever will have been spotted by leprosy, and who has been separated at the judgment of the priest, shall have his clothes unstitched, his head bare, his mouth covered with a cloth, and he himself shall cry out that he is contaminated and filthy. Is this some kind of weird fetish he has? Where you just stuff your mouth and then the Lord just wants you to be like, yes, I'm dirty, I'm unclean, I am unworthy.
That's a really strange fetish.
I'm your filthy man.
Yeah,
The entire time that he has a leper and wait,
I have a question.
he is a leper, never mind. I have many questions.
Is that where the term like dirty slut came from?
Ask someone else. I haven't read the Bible. The entire time that he is a leper and unclean, he shall live alone outside the camp. A woolen or linen garment that will have held the leprosy in the main fibers or in any of the threads, or certainly in the skin, or whatever has been made from a skin. If it has been infected with a white or red spot, it shall be considered to be leprosy, and it shall be shown to the priest. I like the wording. It's just, there's a white dot on this t-shirt. This t-shirt is now by definition leprosy.
Wonderful.
It's not that there's leprosy on the shirt. No, this shirt is leprosy.
It has become leprosy.
And he, having examined it, shall close it up for 7 days. And on the 7th day, having looked at it again, if he detects an increase, it is a persistent leprosy. He shall judge the garment to be polluted, along with everything with which it has been found. And because of this, it shall be burnt in flames. But if he will have seen that it has not increased, he shall instruct them, and they shall wash whatever has leprosy in it. And he shall close it up for another 7 days. And when he will have seen that the former appearance has not returned, even if the leprosy has not increased, he shall judge it to be unclean, and he shall burn it with fire, for the leprosy has been infused in the exterior of the garment or throughout the whole. But if the place of the leprosy has become somewhat darker after the garment has been washed, he shall tear it away and separate it from the part that is sound. But if, after this, there will appear in those places which were before immaculate a flying and wandering leprosy, it must be burned with fire. What's a flying leprosy?
It's leprosy that flies.
Can you draw that for me so I can visualize?
Yeah, wait. I can do that. Wait, hold. Oh, okay. Do not Google the word leprosy for your own fucking. For your own. No, stop! What the fuck?
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna wait before I share your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You draw up some flying leprosy. Maybe if you're feeling like it, you could also draw some wandering leprosy. If it will have ceased, he shall wash it. He shall wash with water the parts which are pure for a second time, and they shall be clean. This is the law about leprosy for any woolen or linen garment, in the weave and in the threads, and for all items made from skins, how it must be declared either clean or contaminated. Can be a line drawing, no photos needed. I'm kind of expecting Tara to whip out this.
I know what I'm doing.
Kind of expecting you to actually hand draw this, but now with your new.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm doing.
Okay, well let me know when I should put your screen on.
Feel free just to do it at any point.
Well, yeah, there's not really much to see right now, so here that's all we see right now. So yeah, he'll figure it out, and we'll just continue reading until he's done. Leviosa 14. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "This is the rite for a leper, when he is to be cleansed. When he is to be cleansed. He shall be brought to the priest, who, departing from the camp, when he has found the leprosy to be cleansed, shall instruct him who is to be purified, to offer himself 2 living sparrows, which it is lawful to eat, and cedar wood, and vermilion, and hyssop." How the fuck do you offer 2 Captain Jack sparrows?
Yeah, just go for it.
OMG, the leprosy in that picture is evident already.
Wonderful.
And he shall order that one of the sparrows shall be immolated in an earthen vessel over living waters. But the other living one...
As opposed to dead waters, question mark?
Yes.
Okay.
But the other living one, with cedar wood, and the scarlet and the hyssop, he shall dip in the blood of the immolated sparrow, and he shall sprinkle him who is to be cleansed 7 times, so that he may be purified justly. And he shall release the living sparrow, so that it may fly away into the field. Okay. So if you're a leper, bring 2 sparrows, one of them will be immolated, and then somehow you get the blood from the immolated sparrow. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but they'll figure out a way.
Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah.
And then...
I bet that's exactly how everything works. Are you doubting the Bible again? Like,
and then you dip the other sparrow in the blood of the first one.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood.
Yeah, it's just a regular Tuesday on a Bible reading. What are you talking about?
One of the sparrows shall be immolated. The other living one, with other stuff, blah, blah, blah. So the other living one and all the other things, so the priest, shall dip in the blood of the immolated sparrow. So you literally immolate a sparrow, somehow take the blood, and dip the other sparrow in the blood of the first one.
Done.
Hold on. Thanks. And we got a thumbnail.
it's the leprosy virus thing, and it's got wings, and it's evil, so it's got like evil demonish looking.
You sure this isn't the origin story of Corona?
It could be.
Did have a lot of white spots. Well, thank you for the enlightenment. That is so. That's what a flying leprosy would look like. Interesting.
Yes, that's exactly. It would just flap about. It just yeah. It's see, because it was a long time ago. It would be big enough to see. So you just have a big leprosy like virus thing or whatever chasing you, and you'd have to actually actively run away from it.
Did they have virus labs back then? If not, it can't have been Corona. It has not explicitly been mentioned that they didn't.
True. That's very true.
Where's my Bible? There. Okay, so yeah, dip one bird in the blood of the other and then sprinkle blood. Release first sparrow, second sparrow. First one was immolated.
Do not emulate.
And when the man will have washed his clothes, he shall shave all the hair from his body. All the hair. And he shall be washed with water. And having been purified, he shall enter into the camp only to this extent, that he may remain outside his own tent for 7 days. What? Okay, so first of all, if you have leprosy, you do this ritual and then you're considered clean again, and then you have to shave all of your body hair, which includes eyebrows, eyelashes, and other body regions. How? I guess somebody else will have to do it, because how? If you have a very hairy back, how would you shave that?
What you do, right? See, and this is actually what they used to do back in Jesus times. You just like
you spread wax all over the floor and you lay down it, and then you just get up really quickly.
No, it's almost similar. What you do is you find a beehive, right? You take the wax out of it, you melt it in a pot, you put it on your back.
Hold, before you continue. It says he shall shave all the hair. It does not say he shall wax.
Yeah. Look, see, I'm not done, right? What you do is
okay. I just wanted to clarify. Go ahead.
You get the pot of wax and you put it on your back, and then you press your back against the wall, and then you jump, which causes like upwards motion, so it doesn't rip the hair out. Because if you do it fast enough, it just cuts the hair.
Wow!
You just have to jump like really fast. Like it has to be like like really sudden, and it has to be upwards. So when you're pressed against the back, it just goes.
It has to be perpendicular to the surface. You could also be lying on the ground and just use your feet to just push yourself away from a wall or something, but jumping is probably the easiest.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I tried it.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, that does work. So basically, if you have leprosy, you gotta find a beehive.
Only if you have a hairy back.
Yeah, true.
I mean, option 2 is just to get very careful with a big sickle. Just try and shave the hair without actually, like, skinning your own back.
Or you just make friends. You just become a druid and you befriend a bear and you're like, yo, can you shave my back?
You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
No, you shave my back, I scratch yours.
You shave mine, I shave yours. There's just a bear walking over just a flat cut piece of fucking fur at the back.
They had leprosy labs called churches. I don't know if they had them back then, honestly. Will the priest call for an investigation on the origin of leprosy? We don't know. So far, no. Okay, so once you've done all of that, you can go back into your camp, but you're not allowed to enter your own tent for 7 days.
Sounds about right.
Only to this extent that he may remain outside his own tent for 7 days. Shouldn't it be the inverse? You stay at home and you just, you don't infect anyone else with your leprosy. But yeah, apparently you just don't. Yeah, that's so fucking dumb. But hey, this is the Bible.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And on the 7th day, he shall shave the hair of his head and his beard and his eyebrows, as well as the hair of his entire body. And having washed his clothes again, and his body. On the 8th day, he shall take 2 immaculate lambs and a 1-year-old female sheep without blemish, and 3/10 of fine wheat flour, which has been sprinkled with oil, as a sacrifice, and separately 1/12 hin of oil.
Okay, right. I've got a new thumbnail idea, right? So
don't get leprosy.
They want everything shaved. So we just, on the thumbnail, we just put up a picture of Chris Wilson.
If I was mainly a PoE channel, I would be down for that. That would be really good. The problem is nobody's gonna get that joke. It's a good one though, because I get it, obviously.
Yeah, of course you
And
do.
I'm not gonna explain it to any one of you because...
Fuck you, that's why.
Yeah. Fucking leper.
Fucking scrub.
You know what? A 10 euro tip and I will explain the joke.
This is just an EA approved fucking stream now. Oh.
No, I just actually can't be bothered to explain it, but hey, for money, maybe I'll change my mind. Okay, so basically, if you have leprosy, you gotta shave, then you come home, you can go anywhere except for your own tent, and then 7 days later, you gotta shave again and sacrifice all of that. So, like, how much stuff did they have back then? They have to sacrifice so many things every single time they do anything wrong. 2 immaculate lambs, so not just any lambs, they have to be immaculate. And then a 1-year-old sheep, female 1-year-old female sheep without blemish. And then the wheat flour with oil and... Holy fuck.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, EA streams. It's in the tips. Just the tips. And when the priest, purifying the man, has presented him and all the things in the sight of the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of the testimony, he shall take a lamp and offer it for transgression with a 12 hin of oil. And having offered all these before the Lord, he shall immolate the lamb, where the victim for sin is usually immolated with the holocaust that is in the holy place. For just as with the one for sin, so also the victim for transgression belongs to the priest. It is the holy of holies. What it so the sacrifice is the holy of holies, but also at some point I think they mentioned that the tabernacle of the testimony is the holy of holies. How many holy of holies are there?
Multiple, because everything's from whole.
Would you say that there's a whole lot?
One whole entire.
One whole holy.
If there's so many holies, we must be in Switzerland.
I'm not gonna pretend that I got that joke.
It's Swiss cheese full of holes.
Swiss cheese, that's where you went, okay. I thought you were like, Swiss flag, it's a plus, it's like a cross, it's holy. Well, I'm sure we have certain experts on Swiss cheese in chat. Holy, 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 holy. Why do you hurt me, Skydus? Well, it has been a while since I've seen, what was your name? I think we decided it was Ivan. And now I'll let Teras figure out why I am very not happy is called Ivan.
Yeah, it's because there's a thing of all the words, the letters, yeah.
Hey, you're actually smarter than some other people.
Oh. That's what I do.
And they at some point decided that it would just become a common thing to just always ask why I hurt them. Which is funny because it's been quite a while since I've seen...
Did it ever occur to you by design?
Hold on, I'm not done. It's been quite a while since I've seen them, and since then, I think my puns have gotten increasingly more painfully bad. So at this point, it might be genuinely a legit question to ask why I hurt people with my puns. So I just wanted to point out the irony of my character development.
Yeah, please help. He calls me a lot. He doesn't
Yeah,
stop.
I usually call you Daddy.
My fucking god.
Skynet has leprosy. Do you see any white spots? Except for...
No, do not. Shut up. Read the Bible, good boy. It sounds like you need more Jesus in your life.
I need more juices, not Jesus.
Jesus.
Welcome back, Ivan. Been a while. And taking some of the blood of the victim, which was immolated for transgression, the priest shall place it upon the tip of his right ear, of the right ear of him who is being cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, likewise the foot. And he shall send some of the 12 hin of oil into his own left hand, and he shall dip his right finger in it, and he shall sprinkle it in the sight of the lard 7 times. I wonder if Teras is ever gonna sprinkle 7 bits over me. Do it. I don't know what it is. I hope it's oil, but it's probably not. I can't read. DMF, okay.
Yeah.
Dead man's fingers?
Yeah. Spiced rum.
Spicy.
Yeah, it's actually that's kind of the point.
Oh, really? Are you drinking in the presence of the Lord?
So is every priest, you
Shut
fucking...
the fuck up. What's the Lord? Lard. Thank you. Oh my god, my BTTV doesn't work. What was it? Lard be with you? I don't know. My OBS is broken. Wow. No, lard. The lard. What's the fucking... Oh, wait, I can use my browser. Hold on. Teras is gonna freeze for a moment, but that's fine. Lard be... Oh, it's uppercase L. Okay, that's what I did wrong. Teras, come back. Teras is back. No. And onto his foot.
You fucking top.
And then sprinkle 7 times. But the oil which remains in his left hand, he shall pour over the tip of the right ear of him who is being cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, as well as the foot, and upon the blood which was shed for transgression, and upon his head. And he shall pray for him in the sight of the Lord, and he shall accomplish the sacrifice on behalf of sin. Then he shall immolate the holocaust and place it upon the altar with its libations, and the man will be duly cleansed. But if he is poor, and his hand is not able to find what has been said, he shall take a lamb as an offering for transgression, so that the priest may pray for him, and a 10th part of fine wheat flour sprinkled with oil as a sacrifice, and a 12th hin of oil, and 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, of which one may be for sin, and the other as a holocaust. It's interesting. So basically, if you're broke and you don't have enough lambs, just use those birds. But what if you don't have those either? What if you're just really, really poor and you don't have anything, basically? What do you do then? Yes.
Purify. You have to purify something, right?
Purify these nuts.
Just purify your neighbor? Question mark.
But how? You don't have the things for the ritual of the purification. That's the question I'm asking.
You have to acquire them.
But you're poor.
Yeah, steal them.
Ah, yes, steal them and risk needing twice the amount because you also committed a sin that you have to cleanse for. So now you need two times, and then you steal again, and then you just keep digging the hole deeper and deeper. Like, what's a gambler's fallacy? I'm just gonna steal this one time, and if I get through with it, then I'm gonna be cleansed, and everything will be fine.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, fallacy of sunken cost.
Yeah, that sunk cost fallacy, actually, I believe is the name. And he shall offer them on the 8th day of his purification to the priest at the door of the tabernacle of the testimony in the sight of the Lord. And he, receiving the lamp for transgression, and the 12th hin of oil shall lift them up together. And when the lamp has been immolated, he shall place some of its blood upon the tip of the right ear of him who is being cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, as well as the foot. How many fucking times do I have to read this again? Yet truly he shall send part of the oil into his own left hand, and dipping the finger of his right hand in it, he shall sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord. And he shall touch the tip of the right ear of him who is being cleansed, and the thumb of his right hand, as well as the foot, in the praise of the blood which was shed for transgression. So basically what they're saying is either, 2 lambs, and then do the ritual, or if you can't afford that, do this instead and do the entire ritual again. But instead of just being like, do the entire ritual again, they actually go through every single step again. I guess people were really, 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 really fucking stupid back then and needed very explicit instructions.
That sounds about right.
If you kill the sheep that you have stolen, you have to repay 4 times. Well, then you gotta steal 4 more if you get caught, and then it just keeps increasing. And at some point you'll get away with it, and yeah, maybe you will have stolen like over 100 sheep, but at some point, if you get away with it, you can finally get your absolution for your sins. But the remaining part of the oil which is in his left hand, he shall send upon the head of the one being purified to appease the Lord on his behalf. And he shall offer a turtle dove or a young pigeon, one for transgression, and the other as a holocaust, with their libations. This is the sacrifice of a leper who is not able to obtain all the things concerning his cleansing. Sheep will be multiplied. It's the Bible. That's what they do. They're not familiar with addition yet. And the Lord spoke to Moses and triple Aaron, saying, when you will have entered into the land of Canaan, which I will give to you as a possession, if there is the mark of leprosy in a building, he whose house it is shall go and report to the priest, saying, it seems to me that the mark of leprosy is in my house. And he shall instruct them to carry all things out of the house before he would enter it, and see whether it is leprosy, lest all that is in the house become unclean. Wait. Okay, so when you get into this other land, which is yours because I decided so, if there is leprosy in a building, the person whose house it is, are we talking about the person whose house it originally is, or the person of the sons of Israel whose house this is now? I'm thinking the latter, so...
The latter sounds about right, yeah.
So, okay, they go to the priest. It seems to me that there's leprosy in my house. And he, I presume the priest, will instruct them, I presume the owner of the house, to carry all things out of the house before he would enter it. Okay, so the owner of the house has to bring everything outside of the building, and then the priest enters it and checks, is this leprosy? Okay, yeah, actually, that I understand. That actually makes some sense, because otherwise you might cover up a wall, and you might not know. The previous owner left some leprosy behind. Yeah, I think I get it now. And when he will have seen in its walls something like little hollows, deformed with paleness or redness, and lower than the remaining surface, he shall exit by the door of the house and immediately close it up for 7 days. And returning on the 7th day, he shall examine it. If he finds that the leprosy has spread, he shall order the stones in which the leprosy is to be dug out and cast outside the city in an unclean place, and that the house to be scraped on the outside all around, and that the dust of the scrapings be scattered outside the city in an unclean place. Like, how do they have a vacuum just running, just sucking up all the dust?
How do they know it's an unclean place that they're dumping it out?
Yes.
Is there like public unclean areas or something?
I presume there was somebody that had leprosy that was refusing to do the ritual, and then now he's outcast and he has to live in a pit, and now they're like, this is the unclean place, and they just dump everything on top of him.
Nice.
I don't know. And that other stones be put back in place of those which had been taken away, and that the house be plastered with other mortar. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Basically, cleanse the house. buildings can have leprosy too? Yes, and so can you, for just $9.99 a month if you call right now. Hello, Zymos. I think that's Zymos. I don't know. Is this where leprechauns come from? Teras, you're supposed to be the expert on that.
Yeah, I'm on it.
But if, after the stones have been dug out, and the dust wiped away, and it is plastered with other clay, the priest, upon entering, will have seen that the leprosy has returned, and that the walls are sprinkled with spots. Then it is a persistent leprosy, and the house is unclean. And so they shall promptly destroy it, and shall cast its stones and timber, and also all the dust outside the town in an unclean place. Whoever enters the house when it is closed up shall be unclean until evening. And whoever will have slept in it or eaten anything shall wash his clothes. But if the priest, upon entering, will have seen that the leprosy has not spread in the house after it had been newly plastered, he shall purify it, restoring it to health. I didn't know buildings had health, but...
Not health. No, anything but health.
And for its purification, he shall take 2 sparrows, and cedar wood, and vermilion, as well as hyssop. And having immolated 1 sparrow in an earthen vessel over living waters, where have I read that before? He shall take the cedar wood, and the hyssop, and the scarlet, and the living sparrow, and he shall dip all these in the blood of the immolated sparrow, and also in the living water. That was not mentioned before, by the way. That they are also to be dipped in the living water. And he shall sprinkle the house 7 times. So... you have the blood of the immolated sparrow, you dip everything into that blood, then you take that blood and sprinkle it over the house? Or do you just take those things and sprinkle? So you just throw the living bird at the house 7 times? How is that? Yes, Teras. Exactly. Yeah. Thanks. Helpful, as always.
That's what I do.
And he shall purify it as much with the blood of the sparrow as with the living water, and with the living sparrow, and the cedar wood, and the hyssop, and the vermilion. And when he has released the sparrow to fly freely away into the field, he shall pray for the house, and it shall be justly cleansed.
Oh God, not again.
Yeah, I usually also pray for my house every night that it be in good health and not be befallen by leprosy.
Yes. Healthy house.
This is the law of every kind of leprosy and plague. Of the leprosy of garments and houses, of scars and erupting pustules, of a shining spot where the appearance is also variegated, and so that it can be known at what time a thing is clean or unclean. What the fuck is variegate? Do we have another conspiracy theory here? Living your Saw 15.
Anyway.
And the Lord spoke to Moses and triple Aaron, saying, by the way, this is how literally every chapter begins. As far as I can remember, it's always Lord says to Moses and triple Aaron. Every single time.
Wonderful.
Saying, speak to the sons of Israel and say to them, the man who undergoes a flow of seed shall be unclean. The fuck is a flow of seed? Is my mind just that dirty?
Yes. It's a waterfall.
Because what flow of seed are we talking about? Because usually, like, plant seeds don't flow. So the only seed that flows I can think of right now is...
Well, maybe they have like a public river or something that, you know, they use
to transport seed. I think we're talking about other seed.
No idea what you're talking about.
So, the man who undergoes a flow of seed...
Why are you even trying to justify, like, clarify this? We both know we're on the exact same page.
You said I'm just making sure.
How long have we been around each other? Come on, man.
No, come on, woman. And then he shall be judged subject to this fault if a filthy fluid at each moment adheres to his flesh and gathers there.
I think we are all talking about the same thing. Not just us, but the Bible too.
I'm not going to specify what we're talking about, but I'm pretty sure you know what we're talking about. Every bed on which he sleeps shall be unclean, and every place where he sits. If any man has touched his couch, he shall wash his clothes, and having washed with water, he shall be unclean until evening. If he will have sat where that man has sat, he shall also wash his clothes, and having washed with water, he shall be unclean until evening. Whoever has touched his flesh shall wash his clothes, and having washed with water, he shall be unclean until evening. If such a man has cast his spittle upon him who is clean... The fuck is spittle?
Spit. Just your spit. Usually referred to as... yeah.
I never heard that. Interesting. Okay, well. Okay,
check your thing.
I'm not gonna click on that. No, I'm
Yeah,
good.
you probably shouldn't, however.
Yes, of course. Don't wash your hands, wash your clothes. Wash your mind, wash your Bible.
What if you wash your hands with your gloves?
No, you have to wear gloves to make sure that your hands don't get washed. Very important. If such a man has cast his spittle upon him who is clean, he shall wash his clothes, and having washed with water, he shall be unclean until evening. The saddle on which he has sat shall be unclean, and whatever has been under him, who has undergone a flow of seed, shall be polluted until evening. Whoever carries any of these things shall wash his clothes, and having washed with water, he shall be unclean until evening. Okay, I just figured out a loophole. So you just go bathe in your river of seeds, because that's what you're into. Fine, yeah, you do you. And then you're considered unclean, right? So
sure.
Then you have to wash, and then you're unclean until evening. So what you do, you wait until it's evening, then you indulge in your fun activities involving seeds, and then you wash, and it's evening, so you're instantly clean. Boom. So you were only unclean during the indulging in that activity. So you don't have to be unclean, and you don't have any risk of infecting anyone with your uncleanness.
Well, that's good.
All whom such a one has touched, not having washed his hands before, shall wash his clothes, and having washed with water, he shall be unclean until evening. If he has touched an earthen vessel, it shall be broken. Oh, broken, not unclean. But if it is a wooden vessel, it shall be washed with water. If he who suffers from this affliction will have been healed, he shall number 7 days after his cleansing, and having washed his clothes and his entire body in living water, he shall be clean. Then, on the 8th day, he shall take 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and he shall advance in the sight of the Lord toward the door of the tabernacle of the testimony, and he shall give these to the priest, who shall offer one for sin and the other as a holocaust.
What about the lamb?
No, the wrath of the lamb is a different story.
Understandable.
And he shall pray for him before the Lord, so that he may be cleansed from the flow of his seed. Of his seed? Oh, so this is also unclean now, huh?
Yes. Seed equals dirty.
Oh. Well, that makes sense that if you if you're a woman and all that you're unclean then, because seed unclean, yeah. A man from whom the seed of sexual intercourse goes out shall wash his entire body with water, and he shall be unclean until evening.
Wow.
Okay, wait. So just to rephrase this, if you have sex and you ejaculate, then you have to wash and you are unclean until evening.
Yes.
What if you just pull out before you finish and you don't finish? Because then
you become an edgelord?
Because then the seed of sexual intercourse didn't go out. Technically.
You just suck it back in like a straw.
Or if you're what's the word? Unique? Was that the if you don't even have the seat of sexual intercourse, then you can't be unclean.
Yes, you can just rip your own balls off and.
Although I mean, you will have probably sinned because it's not. If I remember correctly, it's not allowed to have sex for pleasure, only for procreation. But
I know there's a thing in the Bible, but I don't know if we've passed that bit yet.
Color. Random green. The garment or skin which he will have, he shall wash with water, and it shall be unclean until evening. The woman with whom he has had sexual intercourse shall be washed with water, and she shall be unclean until evening. Okay, so there we have it. Having sex, just sex in general, is considered unclean. Which makes sense, because which makes the stuff mentioned before makes sense. The fact that you give birth and now you're unclean. Because, well, yeah, anything involving those body regions is apparently unclean. Yes, only until evening. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, just until evening.
You can't, like, people would go mad if they had to go to bed knowing that they're unclean. That's just, how would you ever fall asleep if you knew that you were unclean? The woman who, at the return of the month, undergoes the flow of blood shall be separated for 7 days. Okay.
Just 7.
There we have it again. All who will touch her shall be unclean until evening. Well, I mean, if you're planning to have sex with her anyway, I guess it really doesn't matter because you're going to be unclean either way. But otherwise, yeah, just don't touch her, which is why she's going to be outcast temporarily. And everything on which she sleeps, sits in the days of her separation shall be polluted. Whoever will have touched her bed shall wash his clothes, and having washed himself with water, he shall be unclean until evening. There's really just, it's always until evening. So just do it right before evening or during evening and you're fine. Yeah, basically take a shower afterwards and go to bed. Yeah, have sex in the evening, have a shower, and everything is fine.
Apart from the sin of lust, but we're not at that bit yet.
Apart from what?
It's the sin of lust.
If you did it for the right reasons, it's fine. True.
But if you're doing it for the right reasons, you might not really care that you're unclean for a short period of time.
I'm pretty sure we'll find out. This is like the introduction to the unclean buff, and then maybe in the next chapter we'll be like, if you're unclean, you suffer all of these negative side effects.
Buff.
So yeah, we don't really know yet what being unclean entails, but maybe it's really bad. Maybe if you're unclean, you are not allowed to do certain things, or you're at a higher risk of dying a death or two deaths.
You can't enter the church when you're unclean, or touch holy objects.
I mean, that just sounds like a benefit. So I guess being unclean is a buff.
But what if the holy object is? What if you have?
What if it's a wooden flashlight? Good question, Teras.
That is a very good question.
The holy flashlight of Jesus. Anyone who will have touched any item on which she has sat shall wash his clothes, and having washed himself with water, he shall be polluted until evening. If a man has sexual intercourse with her in the time of her monthly flow of blood, he shall be unclean for 7 days. Oh, okay, so there is an extra penalty. It's not just until evening. And every bed on which he sleeps shall be polluted. The woman who undergoes a flow of blood many days beyond her time of menstruation, or whose blood does not cease to flow after the menstrual blood, as long as she is subject to this affliction, shall be unclean, just as if she were in her time of menstruation. Okay, so basically, as long as you're bleeding as a woman, you're considered unclean. Doesn't matter for which reason, unless it's just a wound. But then, if you have your monthly flow of blood, and then your wound hasn't healed up, and you can continue to bleed from there, you're just screwed. So as long as blood is flowing from your body, you're unclean. Every bed on which she sleeps and every item on which she sits shall be polluted. Whoever will have touched these shall wash his clothes, and having washed himself with water, he shall be unclean until evening. Fuck you, Bible. This is dumb. If the blood has stopped and has ceased to flow, Like, if the blood has stopped and not ceased to flow, how would that work?
Yeah.
If the blood has stopped and has ceased to flow, she shall number 7 days for her purification, and on the 8th day she shall offer herself to the priest. She shall offer for herself to the priest 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons at the door of the tabernacle of the testimony. Wait, does this also apply is this just if you have, was this specifically only if you had sex, or is it just in general if you have your monthly flow of blood? Because that would mean that you need literally every month, every woman needs 2 young pigeons or 2 turtle doves. Every month.
That's a bit excessive.
Per woman. That's an insane amount of birds you're just killing. So I'm gonna try to reread this.
Well, I'm trying to understand the Bible.
The woman, blah blah. Okay, undergoes the flow of blood, and anyone who touches her and touches anything and has intercourse with her and everything. But okay. So I would say it's implied that this is only applies if you have sex during your monthly flow. So basically, during a monthly flow, just get the fuck away from anyone. Don't touch anyone. Don't have sex with anyone, because it's gonna be bad for everyone.
True.
And he shall offer one for sin and the other as a holocaust, and he shall pray before the Lord, before the Lord, and for the flow of her uncleanness. Therefore you shall teach the sons of Israel to be cautious of uncleanness, so that they may not die in their filth, when they will have polluted my tabernacle which is among them. This is the law of him who undergoes a flow of seed, or who is polluted by sexual intercourse. Okay. And of her who is separated in the time of her menstruation, or who has a continual flow of blood, and of the man who sleeps with her. Okay, let's go back. The man who undergoes a flow of seed. So that just... Alright, so that just means ejaculation of any kind, whether it's having sex or just by yourself or with other men or women or anything in between. Question.
Answer.
The man who undergoes a flow of seed shall be unclean. So regardless of the reason, if you have a flow of seed, you're unclean.
Yes.
Wet dream.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah, I would think so as well. I just wanted to clarify. So
yeah, it's your fault for having so many, thoughts of
your
sexual
mom's a
nature
thought.
that you're not wrong. That's
so
not relevant at the moment.
So that just means if you have a wet dream, which happens during the night, which is after the evening, and you didn't wash anyway. If you have a wet dream, and then you wake up and you realize, oh, you wash yourself, and then you will be unclean for the entire day. So basically, a wet dream ruins your entire day because you can't touch anything or anyone because you might make other people unclean. So if you have a wet dream, just stay the fuck at home.
You just hide.
Just hide.
Hide in shame.
Don't tell anyone, and don't let anyone figure it out. Also, I need to figure out how to refill this cup because reasons.
Interesting. Oh, you alcoholic fuck. Wait, that's my job. I need help. Oh. Sky just needs to come back faster, because I'm already running out of noises to make to entertain both myself and what remains of the audience. On the upside, I do have a lot of alcohol, so I don't know why that's an upside, but it's definitely an upside. I don't know if that's an upside. It might just be a part of the problem, to be fair. Anyone want a drink? What the fuck is that flopping emoji? It's one of those fancy hat things that goes flop flop. Yeah, that's the one. I'm going to elaborate, Cat Peasant. What's the context behind your mad ramblings? Did anyone actually listen to where Skydis said he's going? Because I wasn't listening. I just kind of was minding my own business and then he left.
What is context?
Oh wait, he's back. He's the Lord and Savior, the one and only DOGG. Hi Skydis, how you doing?
You're the Lord and Savior, right?
It's only on Tuesdays. Are you using the fucking penis straw technique? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, I'm sucking the flow of seed that happened when I laid eyes upon you. I had a flow of seed, so I sucked it back in, so it never happened.
Oh, wonderful. Do you like what I've done with the place? With the thing that I've done? The thing.
Depends on which thing are we talking about. Am I supposed to look at your screen again?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I've just been contextually doodling things.
Good. I see. You made a very wise investment with that thing.
Yeah, this is just the most entertaining thing I've ever owned. And because it acts as an extra monitor, I could just have it there on the side. And then if I need it, I just grab it and then use it. And there's no setup or taking it out, putting it away. It's just there. It's great. It's actually quite sizable as well. Like it's quite a good size, this thing. It's a good monitor size and a good size for, angry doodling things. Anyway, I'm gonna continue contextually doodling things that are relevant to whatever you're reading.
Good.
And yeah.
And that'll be the thumbnail. Leviosa 16. In the Lord spoke to Moses after the death of the two sons of Triple Aaron, when they were destroyed for offering strange fire. I think we had that before. I don't know what the strange fire was, but yeah, the two sons of Triple Aaron were killed because they did something wrong. I do vaguely remember that. And he instructed him, saying, "Speak to your brother Triple Aaron, so that he may not at any time enter into the sanctuary, which is within the veil, before the propitiatory by which the ark is covered, so that he may not die. For I will appear in a cloud above the oracle."
Become cloud.
Unless he will have done these things beforehand. He shall offer a calf for sin, and a ram as a holocaust. He shall be vested with a linen tunic. He shall conceal his naked uwuness with linen under. Yeah.
I don't even remember doing this.
What did you actually replace?
I don't fucking know.
Wait, can you see that in the history of this? Because I actually want to know, what did it originally say? Do I still have my original Bible somewhere?
Oh my fucking god. That is fucking brilliant.
Bible. Do I have Bible? I have a Bible.
Oh, fuck.
Hold on, what did it say? Right, Leviticus 16. Leviticus 16.
Oh,
Um.
oh.
He shall conceal his nakedness with linen undergarments. Hold on, is that the one we're looking at? Wait. I lost it. Where the fuck is it? To conceal his naked. Okay, I think what you did. Oh, I know. I actually know. You replaced the word naked with naked space uwu. So nakedness. So it's nakedness.
That's fucking God. That is fucking comedy gold. You're so welcome. I'm here till Thursday.
That is so much better than nakedness, though.
It's so much better.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Glad we figured that out.
oh, that's fucking brilliant.
He shall conceal his naked wounds with linen undergarment. He shall be wrapped with a linen belt, and he shall impose a linen headdress on his head. Well. For these are holy vestments. All of these he shall put on after he has been washed. And he shall receive from the entire multitude of the sons of Israel 2 he-goats for sin, and 1 ram as a holocaust. And when he has presented the calf, and he has prayed for himself for his own house, he shall cause the 2 he-goats to stand in the sight of the Lord at the entrance of the tabernacle of the testimony. And casting lots over them both. Wait, there's multiple lots? I thought there was only 1 lot so far.
What? I was not paying attention whatsoever.
And casting lots over them both. And I'm wondering, because there was only 1 lot as far as I know.
What if it's referring to his kids? Technically, they're like smaller versions of Lot.
So so what you're telling me is Lot fucked himself.
I mean, I'd be impressed. To be fair, like I'd go for that.
That's what you're trying to say. That's what that would imply.
Let's go with that. That sounds about right.
And casting lots over them both, one is to be offered to the Lord, and the other is to be the emissary goat. The one whose lot fell out to be offered to the Lord, he shall offer for sin. But the one who is to be the emissary goat shall stand before the Lord, so that he may pour the prayers upon him, and may send him away into the wilderness. After these things have been duly celebrated, he shall offer the calf, and praying for himself and for his own house, he shall immolate. I just want to point out, so this is the second time we're actually mentioning release of a sort of sacrificial animal. So before it was the birds. What's stopping you from releasing them and then capturing them again and reusing them, basically?
Well, isn't sacrificing
reuse, recapture?
Doesn't that's not how I remember that. Anyway, isn't sacrificing the act of sacrificing doesn't that?
Yeah, the killing. But there were times where it was like, remember the two birds, the 2 sparrows, where one of them has to be immolated, obviously dead, and then you dip the other one in the blood of the first one, sprinkle the person that has leprosy or whatever, and then you release the bird. So one sparrow survives and is now free, and then you capture the sparrow again, and boom, you're good.
Oh yeah, you can just keep that one in your pocket. Like, just tie a string to it like a fucking flight, like a kite.
And taking up the censer which he has filled from the burning coals of the altar, and drawing up with his hands the aromatic compound for incense, he shall enter within the veil into the holy place, so that when the aromatics are placed upon the fire, its clouds and vapor may cover the oracle, which is above the testimony, and he may not die.
Oh,
so once again, if you fuck anything up, you will literally die.
Wow.
Likewise, He shall take some of the blood of the calf and sprinkle it with his fingers 7 times opposite the propitiatory toward the east. And when he has slain the he-goat for the sin of the people, he shall carry its blood within the veil, just as he was instructed to do with the blood of the calf, so that he may sprinkle it away from the area of the oracle, and so that he may expiate the sanctuary from the uncleanness of the sons of Israel, and from their prevarications at every one of their sins. What the hell is a prevarication?
It's a thing you did before verification? Question mark. I don't know.
Tatsachenverdrehung.
What
So
the
it's like twisting the truth, basically.
help, guys. Guys is speaking in tongue.
I'll speak in with something about your tongue.
That was really forced and went nowhere. Thanks, very cool.
Don't worry, I'll force myself into your throat. What? Where?
When?
You know when. You actually know when.
Oh no.
Okay, so
I
basically...
need to quickly rethink my life choices.
So basically just, expiate the sanctuary from the uncleanness of the sins. It's basically what it's saying. According to this rite, he shall act toward the tabernacle of the testimony, which is fixed among them in the midst of the filth of their habitation. Wait, what? According to this rite, he shall act towards... Oh, okay, so he shall act according to this rite. So this is what he needs to do. In the testimony, which is fixed, as in the testimony is fixed, to always be among them in the midst of their filthy habitation. Let no man be in the tabernacle when the high priest enters the sanctuary in order to pray for himself and for his house and for the entire assembly of Israel until he exits. And when he has exited to the altar which is before the Lord, let him pray for himself, and taking the blood of the calf and of the he-goat, let him pour it upon its horns all around. And sprinkling with his finger the 7 times, let him expiate and sanctify it from the uncleanness of the sons of Israel. After he has cleansed the sanctuary and the tabernacle and the altar, then let him offer the living goat. And placing both hands upon its head, let him confess all the iniquities of the sons of Israel and all of their offenses and sins. And calling these down upon its head, he shall send it away by means of a man prepared to do so in the desert. Into the desert. Okay, so basically you have this other goat, you just put your hands on it and then you just channel all the sin into the goat, and then you just have somebody take the goat away, so now the sin is no longer with your camp.
Wonderful. That sounds absolutely great.
And when the goat has carried all their iniquities into a solitary land and has been released into the desert, triple Aaron shall return into the tabernacle of the testimony, and placing aside the vestments which he had worn before when he entered into the sanctuary, leaving them there, he shall wash his flesh in the holy place, and he shall be clothed in his own garments. And departing afterwards, he shall present his own holocaust and that of the people. He shall pray as much for himself as for the people. And the fat which is offered for sins, he shall burn upon the altar. Yet truly, he who has sent away the emissary goat shall wash his clothes and his body with water, and so he shall enter into the camp. But the calf and the he-goat, which were immolated for sin, and whose blood was brought into the sanctuary to complete the expiation, these shall be carried outside the camp and be burned with fire. As with their skins, so also with their flesh and dung.
I tried to draw a bird and it looks like a moth.
You want to see my Twitter bird again?
Does it look better than this?
Debatable. It kind of looks like a... And it reminds me of the pharaoh tomb in terms of the shape, and then you just attach some insect wings to it. It's just a pharaoh's sacrifice, whatever the fuck you pronounce that word, I keep forgetting. And then you just attached insect wings to it. Yeah, good job, Teras. I'm proud of you.
That's just what I do.
And whoever, wait, we already had that. And this shall be to you an everlasting ordinance. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall afflict your souls, and you shall do no work, neither someone native born, nor the newcomer who sojourns among you. Oh wait, so on the 10th of the 7th month, so on the 10th of, what is that, July? Yeah. On the 10th of July, you're not supposed to do any work. On this day, there shall be an atonement for you, and also a cleansing from all your sins. You shall be cleansed in the sight of the Lord, for it is a Sabbath of rest, and you shall afflict your souls as a perpetual observance. And the priest who has been anointed, and whose hands have been consecrated to exercise the priesthood in the place of his daddy, shall make atonement. And he shall be clothed with the linen robe and the holy vestments. And he shall expiate the sanctuary and the tabernacle of the testimony and the altar, likewise the priest and all the people. And this shall be to you a perpetual law, that you pray for the sons of Israel and for all their sins once a year. Therefore he did just as the Lord had instructed Moses. Okay, so you just have this day on the 10th of July, where each year you just have to pray for your sins.
Do not sin, question mark.
What if you didn't sin? What if no son of Israel has sinned in the entire year?
That'd be impressive.
Yeah, I'm just asking, what if? Or is the Lord just assuming, yeah, that's never gonna happen, whatever?
Assuming if you don't, then you don't do any of the things that absolve you of the sins. Just skip it.
Maybe your son, 17.
Ah, yes, we're almost of age.
And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to triple Aaron and his sons, and all the sons of Israel, saying to them, This is the word which the Lord has commanded, saying, Any man at all of the house of Israel, if he will have killed an ox, by the way, good job, still, nice finally replace, you fucking suck at life, or a sheep, or a goat in the camp, or beyond the camp, and not have presented it as an oblation to the Lord at the door of the tabernacle, he shall be guilty of blood. It is just as if he had shed blood, so then he shall perish from the midst of his people. First of all, I would just want to point out, the Lord says to Moses, say to triple Aaron and his sons and everybody to Israel, that the Lord has said this. Just, yeah, but good nesting of speech. Okay, but so quick recap. So if you kill any of the animals listed here, basically anywhere. I mean, in the camp or beyond the camp, which means anywhere. So if you kill them anywhere, not as an oblation to the Lord, then you're guilty of blood. You committed blood.
They become blood, question mark.
Thank you, Teras.
That's why I do.
So basically it just counts as if you killed someone. And then and apparently if you kill someone, you will die.
I'm guilty.
Which was never mentioned before, but yeah. Therefore, the sons of Israel must offer to the priests their victims, which they kill in the field, so that they may be sanctified to the Lord before the door of the tabernacle of the testimony, and so that they may immolate them as peace offerings to the Lord. Yeah, basically everything you kill has to be used as a thingy for the Lord in some way. And the priest shall pour the blood upon the altar of the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of the testimony, and he shall burn the fat as a sweet odor to the Lord. And they shall no longer immolate their victims to demons. Wait, what? They shall no longer immolate their victims to demons?
What demons?
Yeah, well, we have not been introduced to the concept of demons yet. And immolate them to, as in like immolate them to a god and then immolate them to a demon? Or immolate them so they turn into a demon? What's actually...
Are we worshipping the demons now?
Wait.
Was Christianity
am I the only one that has been worshipping demons this entire time?
What? You mean everyone else does?
I've been worshipping a demon all this time.
Question mark.
And they shall no longer immolate their victims to demons with whom they have committed fornication. Okay, now so you have sex with a demon? Succubus. That's probably.
No, bad Sky to stop watching hentai.
It's called Diablo. Ever heard of it?
No.
Type into Google Succubus Diablo, or into any search engine of your choice, and see what comes up, and you will see.
Fucking use Bing, you fucking.
Yeah, do it.
That's too much effort.
I know. I can see what you're doing. So.
Which is precisely fuck all.
Exactly. I can see that you have certain things open, and yeah, none of those is a search engine.
No idea what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
No.
Well, it doesn't matter. I know exactly what you're doing. Cold cat pee pad. What are we talking about? Apparently you're a Bing scrub. Well, to be fair, if Teras is a Bing scrub, then so am I, because I use DuckDuckGo. And now Teras is confused.
I mean, I don't use Bing.
I do.
I was just implying that I'll do it as out of spite, you know, as a like a fuck you. I'm not gonna Google it. You know, like, yeah.
I use Bing.
I presume DuckDuckGo is Bing related in that regard.
Yes. It basically does search queries through Bing, but with their account, so they can't really track you, because all the DuckDuckGo search queries go through one central place, basically, or maybe multiple, but yeah. It's basically like using Bing, but without being tracked. Simply said.
Brilliant.
So that makes me a Bing scrub, technically. It shall be an everlasting ordinance for them and for their posterity. And you shall say to them, the man of the house of Israel, or of the newcomers who sojourn with you, who offers a holocaust or a victim, and who does not bring it to the door of the tabernacle of the testimony, so that it may be offered to the Lord, shall pass away from his people. Yeah, that's literally what we already had before. Fuck you.
Speaking of holocaust.
Go ahead.
I just like mentioning it for entertainment value. Keep going.
For entertainment value.
I did not see that coming.
You want to guess what I'm drinking again?
Did you?
Feel free to guess what juice this is. Feel free to guess.
I don't guess.
You look like the person that would be guessing.
I don't guess. It's like a thing. It's one of the things I don't do.
Really, you just sort of emit an aura of guessing things. It's just
That's not the one thing I don't do.
any man at all of the house of Israel, of the newcomers who sojourn among them, if he has eaten blood, okay, I will harden my face against his soul, okay, and I will drive him from his people. Not okay.
What the fuck just happened?
I think he's just
gonna get like a stern expression on his face. And
he just has sort of metal implants in his face that he can align so that his face gets hard, or is as soft as it is of a normal human. And if he switches a button, then his face is just as hard as metal. And then
no.
I'm not done yet. And then he uses this metal face and just headbangs against their soul.
No, so you're misunderstanding this, right? His face is abnormally soft, and then it just becomes erect. It just gets really hard and tenses up, and it kind of looks like Botox, where it like smooths out as well. It goes very bulbous.
For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you, so that you may atone with it upon the altar for your souls, and so that the blood may be for an expiation of the soul. For this reason I have said to the sons of Israel, no soul among you shall eat blood, nor among the newcomers who sojourn with you. Any man at all from the sons of Israel, or from the newcomers who sojourn with you, whether by hunting or bird catching, if he seizes a wild beast or a bird which is lawful to eat, which, by the way, good luck figuring that out. If he sees it's lawful to eat, let him pour out its blood and cover the earth with it. For the life of all flesh is in the blood. Therefore I said to the sons of Israel, you shall not eat the blood of any flesh at all, because the life of the flesh is in the blood, and whoever has eaten it shall perish. The soul who eats what has died on its own, or what has been caught by a beast, whether he is native born or a newcomer, shall wash his clothes and himself with water, and he shall be contaminated until evening. And by this means he shall be made clean. But if he will not wash his clothes and his body, he shall bear his iniquity.
I have a question.
I have many questions.
Does that mean that they're vegan because they're not eating blood things?
But you're allowed to eat the meat.
But doesn't the meat contain blood?
Let him pour out its blood and cover the earth with it. So you just stab a hole in it, wait until all the blood runs out, and then you're good.
So how long do you wait before the blood is drained out?
You wait until literally every single atom of blood is gone. Because if you even inhale an atom of blood, which is not how that works, shut up, you're done. What's the word? A molecule of blood. That's what I was looking for.
I don't know. This seems a bit fishy.
Fish were not mentioned in this. Go ahead.
No? You go a foot.
You go a fish.
Go fish.
A quantum of blood. Is that a reference to a certain movie? Leviosa 18. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the sons of Israel, and you shall say to them, I am the Lord your Skytus. You shall not act according to the custom of the land of Egypt, in which you have lived, nor shall you behave according to the habit of the region of Canaan, into which I will lead you. Neither shall you walk in their ordinances. You shall accomplish my judgments, and you shall observe my precepts, and you shall walk in them. I am the Lord your Skytus. Keep my laws and judgments. When a man does these, he shall live by them. I am the Lord. No man shall approach her who is a close blood relative to him, so as to uncover her naked oohness. I am the
Lord. This will never not be funny.
So this is, by the way, I just want to point out, at this point, it was at this point that they realized incest is no longer legal. Up until this point, it was fine. So what Lot's daughters did was fine. But now the Lord has laid down the law. It has said,
no.
Teras is being called.
Imagine people calling me.
I kind of hope it's your family.
No, I've blocked them. It's fine. They literally can't.
Okay, so no one shall approach her who is a close blood relative to him.
Wait.
So
what about her?
Hold on. So if you're a male, you're not allowed to approach anyone who's a close blood relative, whatever the fuck that is. Like, how many degrees of separation? Like, is a cousin fine? Is your uncle fine? Is your grandmother? Like, where's the limit? Completely random and completely unrelated, but very, very, very important question. What's the current life expectancy at this point in the Bible? We haven't had that in so long. I'm actually curious.
I mean, I'd guess we're probably getting close to what it should be, which probably some people would probably be living maybe above 100 years by now, which is just barely over. That would make, like, progression-wise, that would make sense.
Should make a graph of like life expectancy over the years. It just starts at like almost 1,000, goes down to less than probably 50, and then currently, well, what's the current life expectancy? 80? 90? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so if you're a man, you're not allowed to approach any female blood relative with the intent of uncovering her naked uwu-ness. I am the Lord. In case you forgot. Also, I am the Lord. In case you forgot, I am the Lord Jeskytus. It's just very important. This is like propaganda. You just keep repeating the same narrative. I am the Lord. Every single time. And then at some point they'll believe it. But okay, don't uncover the naked uwu-ness of any female blood relative. However, if a female blood relative approaches you and uncovers your naked uwu-ness and then uncovers her own naked uwu-ness, that's fine. Or if you approach a female close blood relative of yours and she is already naked because she maybe washed her clothes because for whatever reason, that's also fine. You're just not allowed to undress her, basically. A male is not allowed to undress a female close relative.
Can you ask her to undress? Because then you're not doing it.
I'm not sure, because no man shall approach her, blood relative, so as to uncover her. You're implicitly uncovering,
right.
so...
Yeah.
So...
It's one of them, that's pretty good, yeah.
Basically, hold on. Males may not undress female blood relatives. Everything else is fair game, including approaching an already naked female blood relative. I'm just trying to draw the conclusions so there's no misunderstandings here. You shall not expose the naked uwu-ness of your daddy or the naked uwu-ness of your mother. She is your mother. But what about my daddy? Is the daddy my daddy?
No. What a stupid question.
What gave you that idea? What the hell, Skytus?
What sort of dumb question is this?
You shall not uncover her naked uwu-ness. But uncovering your daddy's naked uwu-ness is fine because he's not your daddy, except the fact that he is your daddy. You shall not expose the naked uwu-ness of your daddy's wife, for it is the naked uwu-ness of your daddy. How does that even work?
Oh, fuck.
Okay, so if maybe your mother dies and then your dad marries another woman, you're not allowed to undress her either. Which I just realized all that stepmom porn on all those various sites. That's not allowed. That's literally against the law of the Lord. The law of the Lord. You shall not uncover the naked uwu-ness of your sister, whether from daddy or from mother, whether she was born at home or abroad. You shall not uncover the naked uwu-ness of your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter, for it is your own naked uwu-ness. You shall not uncover the naked uwu-ness of your daddy's wife's daughter, who she bore to your daddy and who is your sister. You shall not expose the naked uwu-ness of your daddy's sister, for she is the flesh of your daddy. You shall not uncover the naked uwu-ness of your mother's sister, because she is the flesh of your mother. You shall not uncover the naked uwu-ness of your daddy's brother, nor shall you approach his wife, who is joined to you by affinity. But why? It didn't say that they are what they are to me. You shall not uncover the naked uwu-ness of your daughter-in-law, for she is your son's wife. Neither shall you expose her dishonor, whatever the fuck that means. You shall not uncover the naked uwu-ness of your brother's wife, for it is the naked uwu-ness of your brother. You shall not uncover the naked uwu-ness of your wife and her daughter. Wait, you shall not uncover the naked uwu-ness of your wife and her daughter. So maybe if she had a daughter before, because it's not your daughter, but that means you're literally not allowed to undress your wife. She has to do it herself. So I guess this is
fucking illegal.
This is sort of an anti-rape law, implicitly, I guess. You shall not take her son's or her daughter's daughter, so as to uncover her dishonor, for they are her flesh, and such sexual intercourse is incest. Oh, good that you finally figured out what is incest. Good job, Bible. I'm proud of you. You shall not take your wife's sister as a rival mistress. Your wife's sister as a rival mistress? What is a rival mistress? Is that this like...
The person you cheat on will cheat with.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just
You
wanted
get the point.
another take on it. Okay. Nor shall you uncover her naked woundness while your wife is still living. Okay, after that, she's very. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense afterwards. Yeah, you can marry anyone again because till death do us part. At that point, you're divorced. So, well, if her sister just happens to be good, yeah. You shall not approach a woman who is undergoing menstruation, nor shall you uncover her foulness. You shall not have sexual intercourse with your neighbor's wife, nor shall you be defiled by the mingling of seeds. Wait, hold.
Whoa.
Nor shall you be defiled by the mingling of seeds. Of seed.
Oh no! Oh no!
Does this?
Yeah, it
Does this
yeah.
for? Okay, no. Let me put it very explicitly. Does this forbid threesomes with two males?
Yes.
Because otherwise, I don't know what mingling of seed would be. So seed is obviously we all know what seed is in this context. Mingling is just mixing. So, but how would that? But how would you mingle those unless you happen to just have the release of seed at the same?
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I just want to go back. So all of these things are illegal. However, what is not illegal, for you at least, there is a benefit to being a woman. You are allowed to have sex with pretty much anyone. It is not allowed for a man to have sex with all of what has been mentioned. But if you're a woman and you decide, you know what, my stepson is kind of hot, have at it. You know, just
we know what you're into. Anyway,
just sneak into his room at night, and then the next morning, just tell me he had a wet dream. He's never gonna know. I can't fucking take the Bible anymore. I just
my absolute fucking god and a half.
That's what this says. It's only.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Oh, also, well, I guess with the mingling of seeds, I guess it's implicitly disallowed that if you are a male and you have fun with I don't know, your uncle or whatever, that's also that would be mingling of seeds. So, oops. So I guess that's also
Do not
covered.
uncle
Oops.
$20 fine.
You shall not give some of your seed to be consecrated to the idol Moloch, nor pollute the name of your skytus. I am the Lord.
I'm good, sure.
I have a question.
I really hope to have an answer.
You shall not give some of your seed to be consecrated to the idol Moloch.
My god. Oh no, you can give all of it.
As long as it's the entire load, you're good. But what's the idol Moloch? What the hell is that?
Absolutely no idea.
Okay, can you please find out?
On it, shit.
Because it's an idol, so I presume it's some kind of statue. So basically what they're saying... actually, I don't want to say this on stream. Hold on, I'll write it to you. I'm not going to say it on stream.
Oh no.
I think this is what they're saying.
Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah.
Unless, of course, it's all of it, but... Yeah,
Wait, man.
Please find out what the hell...
Yeah, I'm literally reading it, yeah.
Because idol... I think back then an idol was just sort of a representation of a god, right? You have an idol of a god that's supposed to represent the god.
Yeah, the idol Moloch is the reference to the Canaanite god.
Right, so... Okay,
so these are also all the
Moloch
large
equals Canaanite god.
Yep. All the
So
all the
basically,
people
you're not allowed to give your seed to the other god. You shall not give some of your seed to be consecrated to the other god, nor to pollute the name. Yeah, you're also not allowed to use your load to pollute my name. However the fuck that would work. Like, yeah, it's like what? You just graffiti on the wall. Skytis sucks.
No, you just use your mom as a fucking marker and write on the wall.
But
it's like a white Sharpie.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. If that's what you're. You shall not give some of your seed to be consecrated, nor shall you give some of your seed to pollute. So you're not allowed to give away your seed if it is to be against Skytis, basically. You shall not commit sexual acts with a male in place of sexual intercourse with a female, for this is an abomination. And there we have it. Do not gay. $20 fine. You shall not commit sexual acts with any animal, nor shall you be defiled by it. Question.
Yeah.
I'm out in the wilderness because I happen to be a leper and life sucks.
Yeah.
I am now trying to find a bear to have the you shave my back, I scratch yours deal. And the bear's like, you look kinda hot. I'm gonna have sex with you.
Yeah, if the bear decides to make you his bitch, you literally can't do anything to stop that.
Okay, but this says you shall not commit this, nor shall you with any animal, nor shall you be defiled by it. But the animal is at that moment defiling me, and it's not like I have a choice. I can't just run away. The bear's gonna fucking kill me. So
yeah,
what?
Yeah, you're fucked. You're fucked in more than one meaning of that word.
Yeah, don't get fucked by animals. Because as if you had a choice, yeah. I'm just gonna lay down here in the forest, butt naked, and I'm just gonna hope that an animal jumps onto me and defile me because I'm horny.
just planking naked on the floor, face down, like, oh no! I hope no one takes a piece of this juicy ass.
I guess the Lord thought of that loophole and explicitly forbade it.
Loophole.
I'm gonna show you a loophole. It will require a lot of loop, though.
Oh.
A woman shall not lie down with a beast, nor commit sexual acts with it. Yeah, for this is wickedness.
Rude.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty wicked.
Oh.
Do not pollute yourselves with any of these things, by which all of the nations which I will cast out in your sight have been contaminated. And by which the land has been polluted. I will visit the wickedness of the land so that it may vomit out its inhabitants. Okay, so the Lord is implying that all of the above, like incest and bestiality, have been done by the inhabitants of all those lands, like the Canaanite, the the Jebusites, and all the other, like they are always mentioned together.
Irish.
All of those have either had incest or had bestiality, which is how they polluted the land, and you're not supposed to do that.
Wonderful.
So, implying that all the others, Canaanite, Jebusite, etc., have done incest and or bestiality. Keep my ordinances and judgments, and do not do any of these abominations. The native born, as well as the settler who sojourns among you. For all these detestable things were done by the inhabitants of the land who were here before you, and they have polluted it. Okay, yeah, there we have it, explicitly written. The Lord is accusing all the other nations or tribes or whatever of incest and bestiality. Therefore, beware, lest in a similar manner it may vomit you out as well if you do these same things, just as it vomited out the people who were before you. Every soul who shall commit any of these abominations shall perish from the midst of his people. Keep my commandments. Do not be willing to do the things which have been done by those who were before you, and do not be polluted by these things. I'm the largest Skytis. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
That's one hell of a TED Talk.
You know, we're still covering so many laws, but now it's at least getting somewhat more interesting.
Well, it sure as hell is interesting, I'll give you that one.
It's definitely getting a lot more spicy. And also, I'm too lazy now, but all of the rules, like who you're not allowed to have sex with, I'm sure that there's some loopholes, like your great grand aunt or like whatever, you're probably allowed to.
Yeah, some like third grade cousin, second, or some kind of. I'm sure there's something in there.
Okay, come on. If my cousin is in third grade, that's just.
Boy!
Fucking God.
You are literally fucking banned from streaming ever again.
I am the largest Skytis.
FBI put up. Oh, fuck's sake.
Leviosa 19.
At least we're of age now.
The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the entire assembly of the sons of Israel. You shall say to them, Be holy, for I, the Lord your Skytis, am holy. Dabs.
Wonderful. I'm glad we established that.
I just imagine him walking up, and then everybody's just expecting this big ass speech, and he's like, Be holy, for I, the Lord your Skytis, am holy. And he just dabs and leaves the stage.
Mic drop.
Let each one fear his daddy and his mother. Observe my Sabbath. I am the Lord your Skytis. Do not be willing to convert to idols. Neither should you make molten Skytis for yourselves. I am the Lord your Skytis. If you immolate a victim of peace offerings to the Lord, so that he may be appeased, you shall eat it on the same day as when it was immolated, and the next day. Then whatever will remain on the third day you shall burn with fire. If anyone, after 2 days, will have eaten from it, he shall be profane and guilty of impiety. And he shall bear his iniquity, for he has polluted what is holy to the Lord. And that soul shall perish from his people. When you will have harvested the grain fields of your land, you shall not cut it down to the surface of the land, even to the ground, nor shall you gather the remaining ears of grain. Neither shall you gather the clusters or individual grapes which fall down in your vineyard, but you shall leave them for paupers and travelers to take. I am the Lord your Skytis. Wait, so after harvesting the stuff, don't cut it all the way down, just leave something for travelers, basically? Yes. You shall not steal. You shall not lie. Neither shall anyone deceive his neighbor. You shall not commit perjury in my name, nor shall you pollute the name of your Skytis. I am the Lord. Okay, what is the definition of perjury in this context? Perjury is lying under oath, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it's breaking your oath. So yeah, basically you're lying under oath. So
yes, so don't swear in the God's name and then break it. Yeah, that makes sense.
You shall not commit perjury in my name. So I guess if you swear an oath to the Lord your Skytis, then you're not allowed to break it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And don't pollute the name. But remember, polluting the title is fine. Calling the Lord your Skytis just the like making fun of him is fine. But do not use the J word. Do not.
Actually, it's actually the Y word.
Well, it depends on translation. It translated into English, it's J. But yeah, no, Y word, no. J word, whichever one you will.
Wow, fucking rude.
Do not use the name in vain.
There you go.
That's how you pronounce it, right?
Yeah, more or less.
Shouldn't it be more like manna manna because that's the bread, and then Yehovah did it? Yehovah manna manna Yehovah did. Are you okay, Teras?
Now you're just sounding like an Indian song. Brilliant. I need you to continue because I need to leave soon.
You
Do not dead.
You shall not slander your neighbor, nor shall you oppress him by violence. The wages of a hired hand you shall not delay with you until tomorrow. You shall not speak evil of the deaf, nor shall you place a stumbling block before the blind. But you shall fear the Lord your guidance, for I am the Lord. You shall not do what is unjust, nor shall you judge unjustly. You shall not consider the reputation of the poor, nor shall you honor the countenance of the powerful. Judge your neighbor justly. You shall not be a detractor, nor a whisperer among the people. You shall not stand against the blood of your neighbor. I am the Lord. You shall not hate your brother in your heart, but reprove him openly, lest you have sin over him, and he might become not able. Do not seek revenge, neither should you be mindful of the injury of your fellow citizens. Wait, do not seek revenge, okay? Neither should you be mindful of the injury of citizens. So you should not be mindful of the injury of your fellow citizens. That's what the sentence says, right? My English is not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, reasonable, yeah, just whatever, just don't be, yeah, sure. You shall love your friend as yourself. I am the Lord. Observe my laws. You shall not cause your cattle to breed with other kinds of animals. You shall not sow your field with diverse seeds. Which seeds are we talking about? You shall not be clothed with a garment which has been woven from two things. But didn't the Lord literally instruct that the holy vestments be made from all those fancy things?
Yes, he did. What an ignorant fuck.
What a fucking idiot. Hello, Kappa Claus. Greetings. If a man will have slept in sexual intercourse, as in like fallen asleep during sex? You missed all the spicy parts, by the way, about how you're not supposed to have how you're not supposed to do incest.
Or bestiality. You're not allowed either.
Yeah, but the incest was very, very explicitly
and
specifically mentioned.
Very, yeah.
If a man will have slept in sexual intercourse with a woman who is a servant and who is also able to be married, and yet he has not redeemed her with a price, nor paid her to set her free, they shall both be beaten. But they shall not die, for she was not a free woman. So if you just decide, I'm a man, I have a female servant, I'm horny. And for whatever reason, I can't get laid. So I'm going to have sex with my female servant. Both of us are going to get beaten, not to death.
Just beaten.
And yeah, she will also be beaten, but not to death because, well, she didn't decide to, but...
Flawless.
So basically, you punish a woman for being raped. In this scenario. I don't know if it happened. I'm just saying a man that has a woman servant could do this, and the woman would get punished for something that is, I would say, clearly not her fault, but hey, what do I know? What? You're not supposed to? What about the guy who banged his daughter, though? Do you know how long ago that was? That was in the book of Genesis. Do you know, Genesis, that's so long ago. Back then, we didn't have all of those laws. No, they were literally just established, literally here in Leviticus 18.
Yeah, like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. But for his offense, he shall offer a ram to the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of the testimony. So he has to offer a ram for ramming. Okay, I see. You do not appreciate my joke. You don't get it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, ram for ramming. Yeah, I was listening. Yeah.
You beat the woman in order to punish her lover. But maybe he didn't even love her. How do you know? Maybe he was just horny and he just wanted to release some seed into the world. So he's unclean until the end of today, provided that he did wash. There's also rules, by the way, about how you're unclean if you have your monthly flow of blood, and also if you release seed, then you're also unclean until a certain point in time. And just, I don't know if I've ever said this, but you should listen to the VOD or wait until it's on YouTube. And today was a good day. It was very interesting. Ram Ranch. Yeah, I read those rules once. They're certainly interesting. Where the hell was I?
Yes.
Yeah, offer a ram. And the priest shall pray for him and for his sin before the Lord. And he shall win his favor again for him, and the sin shall be forgiven. When you will have entered into the land and will have planted in it fruit trees, you shall take away their first fruits. The fruit that germinates shall be unclean to you, neither shall you eat from these. But in the 4th year all their fruit shall be sanctified for the praise of the Lord. And in the 5th year you shall eat the produce, gathering the fruits which are brought forth. I am the Lord your Skytus, in case you forgot.
Yeah, just FYI, like I am Lord your Skytus.
Is there a count feature? Can you actually like count how many times this exact phrase is in the Bible?
Of course I can.
Without the period. Oh, can you not?
I'm just gonna take it as mine now.
Yoink. Was a really awful part of the Bible. Literally every part ever. You shall not eat with blood.
26 times.
And how many times do we have the larger, just larger Skytus?
Larger Skytus is a good. 45.
Honestly, that's surprisingly little. I thought it would be way more.
Yeah, you'd think so. Eh?
I guess it's just some other permutation of that. You shall not eat with blood. So I guess you just have to cut yourself open and just make sure you pour out all of your blood before you eat every single time.
You run blood.
You shall not eat with blood. You shall not practice divination, nor the observation of dreams. Okay, I don't know what divination is actually. I only know about divination cards, but that's a different story. What the fuck is divination actually?
I actually don't know.
Does anyone actually know what divination is?
No, I mean I've heard the word.
What's the translation? Maybe that helps me.
Divination, a practice of determining the hidden significance or cause of events.
Prophecy, like predicting, calling the future. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense. Funny enough.
Okay, so yeah, don't pretend like you know what's gonna happen. Nor the observation of dreams. Okay. So you're not allowed to. What is this?
I presume you mean interpretation of dreams.
Yeah, that would make.
Don't go like, my teeth falling out. So, that means you're gonna have a bad harvest. No,
it literally means if your wife is asleep and you're just watching her dream, you just die. You're just not allowed to observe her dream.
You just wake up, look to the left, and drop dead. Like, just walk up in the middle of the night, like, no.
And you shall not cut the hair of your head circularly, nor shave your beard.
You can't get a bowl cut.
Cut the hair of your head circularly.
You can't get a bowl cut.
So any kind of circles are not allowed. It has to be a non-circle shape. Well, good thing that a circle is defined as a shape where all points have an equal distance to the middle point. And I don't think you can realistically ever make a circle as a human. It's just a circle is only possible in theory. Yeah, I know what that is, Teras. Thanks.
This is exactly what you're not allowed to do. The Bible forbids.
No, you're allowed to do it as long as it's not a perfect circle.
Fuck it up at some point.
Yeah, just have one hair a few millimeters longer or shorter. But also, it's interesting. You're not allowed to shave your beard at all.
Nice. I vibe with that.
Good thing I didn't do that, so I'm still fine as far as the Bible is concerned.
should have fooled me.
There's a mathematical theorem for that. It's called the Harry Ball theorem. I'm going to show you a Harry Ball theorem. What?
Not if I beat you to the punch.
What the? I'm scared to click on this.
Do not. Just for your own safety of your own mind.
There's no non-vanishing continuous tangent vector on even the. I don't math.
Just move.
So this thing states that there is no non-vanishing continuous tangent vector field on an even dimensional n spheres. On even dimensional n spheres. Sorry, I don't speak math.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's no non-vanishing continuous tangent vector field. There's no fuck you. I'm gonna read the Bible.
Yeah, that's more cohesive.
You shall not cut your flesh for the dead. So you're not allowed to be like, oh, my mom, that I'm gonna cut myself.
Why?
No emos allowed. You shall not cut your flesh for the dead. I don't know what else it would mean. And you shall not make other figures or marks on yourself.
God.
So
God.
I am the Lord, in case you forgot. Do not prostitute your daughter. Your son is fine, though.
Yes.
Your granddaughter is fine. Your wife is fine. Your niece is fine. Your aunt is fine. Literally anyone except your daughter. Yeah, your daughter-in-law is fine.
Becomes a family pimp.
Really good decision. Yeah. Do not prostitute your daughter, lest the land be contaminated and filled with crimes.
Yeah, because
Okay.
that's how that works.
So, I have a daughter and I'm hard pressed for money. I go to someone who's kind of been looking at her weed and I'm going to say, okay, you know what? 2 rams and a turtle dove and I'll let you fuck her. And as soon as we strike the deal, there's just thugs and bandits and other criminals just coming from every shadow.
They just fucking ran out of the forest in masses.
Yeah, it's just suddenly out of
They're like,
every
"What
shadow
have
and
you
every
done?"
crevice, there's a criminal. Some of them trying to sell you Bitcoin pyramid schemes. Some of them trying to stab you.
It's just, oh god, what have I done?
Some of them just trying to sell you life insurance.
My god. So just Indian scammers.
Observe my Sabbaths and be apprehensive towards my sanctuary. I am the Lord, in case you forgot, because I might forget if I don't repeat this every other sentence, because I'm a chronic alcoholic, in case you forgot Genesis already. Bible is like some sort of D&D poorly tied plot. Honestly,
God.
even if Egg just gives 0 fucks, I promise you, I don't know Egg very well, but he will produce a better campaign than this.
Yeah, you will, yeah.
Even if he gives 0 fucks. It's just...
Yep. Guys, you should play a very, very Christian religious fucking, like, clerk.
I already made my character. Maybe if I make another one, if that one dies.
He's cool. You can still change your character's religion. Make him, like, religiously religious.
I can send you the character sheet of mine. And then you can have a look. I don't think that's gonna work.
Oh, no.
It's like it's a half orc that just smash everything and I think I chose, what was it, hermit background, and one of the like I live by myself background, and parents were killed by a powerful sorcerer, and then there's also, I think there was we have a rainy cloud scar on our forehead because of the powerful sorcerer that killed our parents.
Okay, I'm gonna. This is officially becoming an emergency, so I'm gonna walk away now. And if you're finished by the time I'm not back, that's.
What? Are we? What? I think he's talking emergency as in he has to go to the toilet. Because he said that he kinda has to go. So, do we just finish this without him, or do we wait for him to return? And if we wait for him to return, what do we do? We have to avenge Teras out as if he doesn't come back. Don't worry. I will avenge him by defiling this piece of literature. I've got some plans. Maybe something happened to his daughter. You know what? We'll ask him when he's back. Which might take a while. Okay, I guess we'll just finish. I'm just gonna hope that this is well enough explained that I don't have any questions where I need his help. Okay, so observe my sabbaths, be apprehensive to my sanctuary, don't prostitute your daughters, yeah. Do not turn aside to astrologers, nor consult with soothsayers, so as to be polluted through them. I am the Lord your guidance, in case you forgot. Okay, so basically just don't talk to anyone who thinks you can just predict the future or anything like that. I don't know if there's like a general term for divination, soothsaying, and all of that. There's like one thing term that just fits all of them. Peasant, you're a man of culture. Questionable. Also, he's Sir Cat Peasant now. Rise up in the presence of a grey-haired head and honor the reputation of an elder, and fear the Lord your guidance. I am the Lord, in case you already forgot. Okay, makes sense. Respect your elder, sure. If a newcomer lives in your land and abides among you, do not reproach him. Sure. But let him be among you, like one native born. So basically, don't be racist. And you shall love him as yourselves, for you were also newcomers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your guidance, in case you already forgot. Do not be willing to accomplish iniquity in judgment, in lengths, in weights, in quantities. This should say and, but okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, just don't lie about judgment. Don't try to deceive people, being like, hey, this is more than it actually is. Just don't scam, basically. Let the scales be just and the weights be equal. Let the dry measure be just and the liquid measure be equal. I am the Lord your guidance, in case you forgot, who led you away from the land of Egypt. Keep all my precepts and all my judgments and accomplish them. I am the Lord, in case you forgot. Skytus, the fish. How do you flatten a hairy ball in all places? Try to massage it. I would just like put a weight on it that's heavy enough, and then it should be flattened, and you're fine. I think. Well, until Teras is back. Once again, reminder, next Saturday there will be the aforementioned PoE things. I got something confused. I don't know where the confusion originated from. But yeah, we have Bible today, and next week is new PoE League, so Teras will be playing that, unless it's so broken that he doesn't want to. But yeah, most likely next Saturday, no Bible. I'll just be doing something else. Possibly play Divine Divinity. Very fitting. Oh yeah, also Monday I will start Ori and the Will of the Wisps. And why is Teras still not back? Yeah, once again, as a reminder also, all the past Bible streams are slowly coming up on YouTube. I have a hiccup. That's not good. So if you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, you should be able to catch them. I don't know, how many are there? They're all slowly coming along. It's like 2 per week. This was number 13, and everything up to number 7. Bible session 1 through 7 are already up on YouTube, and the rest will be slowly following up over time. So yeah, if you've missed anything, or if you want to rewatch anything, if you just want to catch up, subscribe to the YouTube channel and just, do all the things. What is that? I don't think I can watch that on stream. The fuck? What is this? Why is the Bible so weird? No, we can't watch this for copyright reasons. I'm watching it, but anyone else can also watch it, but I can't stream it. I have nothing to say about that. Well, the problem is technically anything that anyone else has made, I would need their permission. In many cases, you can just assume that they would be fine. For example, let's say Chris was streaming right now, and I would just show his stream to show you, hey, you should watch this person. I highly doubt that that he would really care much. But anyone that I don't know, where I don't feel like I can make a conclusion, I would rather err on the side of caution. So yeah, it's always a risk. Technically, I don't have permission to show anyone else's videos. The only videos I could show here are my own and Teras's. Anyone else's, I would need explicit permission. So that's how it goes. That's how it's always been. It's just that most people don't care to file a DMCA takedown notice request. And also, it's just become more prevalent in recent years. But anyways, yeah, I guess we're basically gonna end the stream. I'm just gonna keep rambling until Teras is back. And then I will see you on Monday if you want some Ori and the Will of the Wisps. And also, I don't think I mentioned this explicitly on stream. Shut up. I am done with Project Diablo 2, which means I will be starting a new game, which will most likely be Divine Divinity. So current things I will be streaming: Mondays, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Saturdays, Bible and other streams, Divine Divinity, or maybe occasionally Baba is You. And also, if Cat Peasant actually is available, then we might continue Victor Vran. But that's gonna be very rare overall, I think. Project Diablo 2 repurchased. No, just PD2. I don't intend to ever play Diablo 2 Resurrected. Quite honestly, that just does not seem worth it. Because it does not have mod support. So why would I play it? PD2 actually changes Diablo 2 to be more interesting. If I want more Diablo 2, I can just play the non-remastered version, because I don't really care that much about looks. It's good enough. I see no reason to purchase the remaster, remaster of Diablo 2. What a surprise that Blizzard fucked it up. For people that just want Diablo 2, it's fine, honestly. It's just that they at some point decided that they're not going to have mod support, which ruins it for me. Because unmodded Diablo 2 is just not good enough anymore. And if they changed the balance, then they would have upset way too many people. It's literally just not an option for them.
I have returned.
Good job. I have finished.
Oh, nice.
Just been stalling for time until you would return. When I learned about it, weren't seated. Wait, I weren't seated. Maybe. Oh, wait. When I learned about it, if I wasn't seated, maybe I could have fallen on the floor if it was rather slippy or something. Slippery. Stalling for time. Oh, he was stalled in a stall. Uninstall.
I'm fucking gonna install you.
So yeah, next weekend, unless the league is completely fucked up, you will be doing PoE stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which
And
means
it looks like it's going to be a good one. So
yeah, and then the week after we'll return, I presume.
yeah, let's go with that.
Will you be help? Will you be streaming it?
Probably not.
Why not?
I don't really have a good answer as to why not.
True, I did need to ask. What was the question I was trying to ask?
What?
Oh yeah, right. We wanted to ask why did you have to go? Did something happen to your daughter?
No. I have to go fight for my life in the bathroom.
Did someone happen in your daughter? Yeah, so I think we're done. Apparently.
I guess so.
You tell me.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, any closing thoughts? Uh, is it working now? I think
It
okay.
looks like it,
Okay. That's amazing. Quick recap. What happened? I switched scenes. Oh yeah, also music. I switched scenes. I switched to the wrong scene. I switched to my scene for retro games. And then I switched back to the main scene because I realized it. And then my stream just decided to disconnect. However, OBS was still connected. OBS didn't realize that the stream was disconnected. So the stream was off. But OBS didn't attempt to reconnect because OBS didn't even realize that the stream was disconnected. So just everything just made no sense. Then I clicked waited for a little bit, nothing happened. Okay, stopped streaming. Okay, it just took like 5 seconds. Then OBS rolls up entirely, killed the process, started OBS again, went live. Here we are. Amazing.
Thanks. Very cool.
Just yeah, I literally don't know how the fuck that happened. So Teras, any clothing thought? Yeah, I can't speak. You know what I mean. Shut up.
Clothing thoughts?
Yes. Any unclothing thoughts?
This cat doesn't count.
Sure.
Wise.
Okay. Well, we need somebody to raid. It's not very many people live, unless you want to watch some Left 4 Dead 2. But I don't know how many people are really interested in that. No? Nobody any suggestions? Well then, only leaves one option, huh?
Yeah, no one that I actually usually watch is
Yeah, how many people do you watch?
like 3.
Huh, what a surprise! So, yeah, I'll be back on Monday with Ori, and then next Saturday with non-Bible things, probably Divine Divinity. As always, extra streams may happen if I have the time and I feel like it. And you know, watch the stuff on YouTube that if you've missed any of it. Follow me on Twitter for bad puns. Join the Discord for also bad puns and other things. And we're gonna raid now. Raid.
Wow. Yeah, if you follow this guy's Discord, I'm in it, so you get it. It's like a double bonus.
Yeah, it's like if you really want to make sure that your brain cells will commit suicide, my Discord is like a 2-for-1 deal.
Level up.
So we're raiding Brunswick is playing Left 4 Dead 2. Apparently they're doing co-op the parish ILs, which means just that one campaign. Speedrunning. Is he playing bowling? No. He's Left 4 Dead speedrunner. Left 4 Dead 2. Closing thoughts, Teras. Or unclothing thoughts.
Cat peasant.